doing tonight? You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope!
I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man.
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! 1, 3! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down,
Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
All right, 1, disappointing loss last night at Bud Walton Arena. 2, bit of an unwatchable game at times. And 3, where are the points going to come from for Arkansas basketball right now? We appreciate you tuning in on a Thursday edition of Halftime. There is some snow across a very small portion of our listening audience up by Harrison. It is cloudy across the natural state. It's kind of nice in some areas, but right now we are feeling a little bit iffy on Arkansas men's basketball for the time being. Going to try to dig out of a 1-3 conference hole once again. But Eric Musselman tells us it's not the same as the past couple of years, and I think when you watch this team right now, you would certainly agree. Good to be with everybody today. Matt Jones, Matt Travis. We'll have Clay Henry on later, and Bob Holt in about 13, 14 minutes or so. Not the best game last night. I think, hey, you're having trouble. You're having trouble scoring for a team that I thought might be able to score with a lot of clubs, and understand the injuries that take down two of your best three-point shooters, if not your best three-point shooters. I think that Brazil and Smith would have been. People are tired of talking about three-point shooting, Matt Jones, but it's going to be a theme. It's going to be a theme right now. I think we can talk about cutting and moving without the ball and all of those things. I still think you got to show you can shoot the three at times and defend the three too, because that was an issue yesterday against Alabama. Crimson Tide looked good. Arkansas played hard. I think that's probably the best compliment to give them from yesterday's game. Played hard, wasn't good enough against, right now, one of the best, if not the best college team in the country.
Absolutely. I mean, they played hard. They gave effort. We got beat by a better team, and you're not kidding anybody. If you're gonna shoot 20% or less from the 3-point and not make your free throws, it's just hard and not getting. I mean, we're losing, like you said, Phil. I saw on the run that we're losing the steals. We're not getting the steals we were getting in the non-conference game. It doesn't seem like Ricky Council's having as much fun as he was early in the year. I don't know if everything's probably okay or whatever, but it doesn't seem like he's playing with the same joy or the same vibe out there.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the same for most of the team. I think it feels like, it looks like they're feeling pressure to do something.
They're kind of pressing a little bit, right? Like this kind of they miss a couple shots early, and it's like, what's going to happen now? The sky's falling down instead of just relaxing a little bit. But it's hard, 18-year-old kids. But man, I like the Mitchell twins. I thought they played tough and played hard, and I thought Graham, as much as he's not he's still a liability on defense. But man, you got to have somebody that can score, and you know what? He's aggressive and has confidence on that offensive end, and that's what we need. If you got to have somebody put the ball in the hoop. So whatever analytics you got, the one with the more points at the end of the game, that's the team that wins the game. That's the main analytic I go by.
84-69, the final score in a loss, a game that was tied at the end of the first half. And I thought, man, I mean, it felt to me like if I was watching previous years of Arkansas basketball, that game was there for the taking for them. You know, Alabama did not play a great first half offensively, and certainly in the second half they were able to turn it on. Brandon Miller all of a sudden showed up after being a total zero in the first half. Maybe the defense provided by Devo Davis and Arkansas had a little bit to do with that, but They found open shots for Miller and Noah Clown. When you get size like that can shoot the three, that's exactly what we thought Trevin Brazile would add to this Arkansas team right now. But the floor is shrinking for the men's team on the offensive side. I mean, and we didn't even see the zone defense that we thought we might see. I mean, they basically manned you up the entire game and dared you to do what you thought you could do, which is drive the ball, get to the rim, and at times Arkansas did that. But when you go 2 out of 10 from three-point land, heck, I mean, just shooting 10 threes, honestly. I mean, for this team, maybe that's all you want to see them shoot. But there's, like I've said for the last couple of weeks here, there's a recipe on how you win basketball games, and scoring less than 19% of your points from the three-point line and shooting 19% from the three-point line in conference games. All the other aspects we can point to, that's not a winning percentage. That's not a winning recipe. Now, maybe you see a little bit, there's a window into the future for this team now. I don't think that Mikal Mitchell started yesterday just because Alabama's got this great front line. I think, and with Jalen Graham deserves more minutes now. I mean, if this is a team that's going to struggle to score, this right now.
That's what he does.
He is your best scorer right now.
Probably most natural. Ricky Council, I think, is too, but he's kind of whatever. He's in a lull. But Graham, I agree with you, Phil.
Well, you're gonna have to. I think right now Arkansas has to change, and maybe looking at the way that that Musk constructed the lineup yesterday, they're already in the midst of that change. This isn't a team that I think will be able to get out and win too many track meets. They can be. I would hope. You got to win games in different ways. You got to win the games in the 80s. You got to win a game in the 70s. I think you got to show that you can win a game in the 60s. And that very well may end up being what Arkansas has to do. Grind an opponent down to the very end and win a game in the 60s or the low 70s. And I don't think this was a team that at the start of the season, Matt, thought that that's the way they would have to win games. Right now, I think that is the way that they have to win games.
100%. When you're not doing good we have too many lapses on defense. And when you're not doing good on offense, your offense should start from your defense. Let's get on the fast break. Let's get easy buckets. Let's get the confidence going. And we're not doing that. And it really does start on that defensive end of the ball. And I don't know if we get lost with our eyes a little bit or if I don't think they're lazy. I think they play with they play with effort and energy. It's just they got to get better and understanding that when you're not playing that well on the offensive side of the ball, man, it starts on the defensive side of the ball. It starts with getting steals. It starts with getting rebounds. It starts with getting up the court fast and being under control. That's just the simple part of basketball.
You can tell when a coach or a coaching staff has lost a team. They just sort of let go of the rope and say, all right, well, this isn't going to be our day. This isn't going to be our season, and I'm not listening to this guy any longer. I don't think that's what's happening at all. They gave great effort. They played hard. They tried to – look at all the times that you had Razorback players trying to get in Alabama players' faces. And it was a physical game, and I think they were fine playing in that sort of style. It's not a matter of buy-in right now for Arkansas. I don't think it's a matter of them they're being torn apart at the seams. I think it's a team that's just trying to figure out what their identity is going to be. And I think initially their identity was going to be, we're going to get out and run with you. We've got a couple of guys that can shoot from the outside. We've got everybody that can get to the rim. We're going to defend well. We're going to turn you over. And right now, that's not the way this team is made up. The injuries are what they are, and you just have to play with what you've got. And right now, Arkansas is not a team that can get out and just outscore an opponent. They can't. I think look, you got to win the ugly game sometimes. That just might have to be the way that it moves on in the future. I think they can score in the paint. I think they can still score at the rim. It's just going to be a lot tougher to do that when you can't stretch the floor.
Do you simplify the game, Phil, and slow it down totally? Do you just really just methodically bring the ball up and limit the possessions if we're not going to make 3-point shots and try to keep all the games in the 60s? If you're saying we're trying to find this identity for our team, we're not doing what we did in the non-conference where it was get up and go and we're slamming the ball every 8 dunks a game, 15 turnovers a game. We're not playing that way, and maybe it's because the competition is better.
Well, I mean, they're not creating the turnovers and scoring off those turnovers the way that they would need to. They're not getting the fast break going at all. I think if the opportunity is there to push the ball, sure, go out and do it. Otherwise, I wouldn't rush anything.
Yeah.
I wouldn't rush anything. Lessen the number of possessions and
play under control, maybe lessen your turnovers as well.
There was moments where it feels like they were a little out of control. And, I mean, look, Alabama is playing great basketball right now. I mean, that's one thing you have to take from this, that Alabama is the best team that Arkansas has played to this point. You do know, though, I mean, you go into Bud Walton Arena, you're like, well, there's a little magic in this building. This is the worst margin of loss in a home game since Eric Musselman has been the head coach at Arkansas. They've not lost a game by 15 points at home yet. And it was tight for a good chunk of it, but that 9-0 run with about, 5 minutes left, it's like Alabama just figured, you know what, we've got the guys. We'll just we can just do what we want at this point. And they set the pace of the game, and they looked like the more confident team, and they looked like they just kind of knew that when it would come down to it, that they could make the run that they needed, and they did.
It seemed like, and man, maybe I'm wrong, but it seemed like the officials went in at halftime and made a halftime bet, and we're like, we're going to see how many fouls we can call now.
Man.
It's like they totally changed. Have you seen this with an umpire with balls and strikes, like the first 3 or 4 innings, like they're calling it super tight, then all of a sudden they get loose? Don't they usually try to keep it consistent, the all 9 innings? It just seemed like the refs, man, I don't know if the coaches get in their head or if somebody made them mad, if they made a halftime bet, whatever they did, but they totally changed the way they called the game in the second half.
I guess unless it was like a hand in the face of a Razorback that called about any contact that there was. That's why, that game took, about 15 minutes longer than a usual two-half game should take? There were too many fouls and a ton of free throws. It's like Muss sounded beside himself that an opponent got 36 free throw attempts on the road.
That shouldn't happen.
That shouldn't happen. Alabama's got something to do with that, but the officiating did leave a little something to be desired. That is not why Arkansas lost yesterday. That is not. It's because Alabama just was great in the second half, and the Razorbacks, I don't think they can beat a team if they allow 50 points and a half. Other seasons, they could get out and outscore a team, win a game in the 80s, win a game in the 90s.
Yeah, Phil, if you're not hitting the 3, it's tough to score 50 points.
That's my whole point about. We'll look and say there's so many other aspects to a basketball game and a team than just 3-point shooting, but it's got to be part of the equation. Making 2 threes per game, shooting 19% from behind the arc. It's never going to work in today's day and age of college basketball. You have to have that threat, and that threat right now is not there. And I don't exactly know where it's going to come from. So I could come up with these ideas of slow the game down, you get a bigger lineup, maybe get more opportunities in the paint and all of that. And I know we talk about cutting and moving the zone and everything. Until there is a consistent 3-point threat, and I'm not talking about somebody making 6 a game, just somebody that can stretch the defense. Because Devo hitting the only 3s of the game for Arkansas is not going to stretch anything. To the opponent, they're happy if Devo Davis shoots the 3-pointer.
He's made 9 3-pointers on the year, I think. So that's not really his game. I was proud the way he played, though, Phil. I thought he played well, and if you could get Walsh and Count, you get everybody else playing good too. Then it gives you a chance. But it's a shot-making league, Phil. If you can't make shots, you're not going to win. March Madness, that's all it is, right? I mean, they're just shot makers everywhere. To make a run, we're going to have to start making some shots. And the good thing is it's right now. It's January. So we can turn this ship around and figure it out.
Well, Eric Musselman, I think, was reminded about that yesterday. So this is a totally different situation from the past 2 years. Because there were more, I think, consistent scorers and shooters from the past couple of years.
You think he could? You think
of a Mace? Go ahead.
I would say, you think he called Nick Smith right after the game, like, hey, bro, like how's that lay, man? Yeah, you see what's up, bro? Like if you just come in and shoot some shots, where there's your 17 points right here. Come on.
Yeah, just a reminder, it hasn't stopped raining in Southern California since he got there. Yeah, maybe come back to Arkansas and the weather get a little bit nicer where he's located. So on halftime today, Clay Henry with us at the top of this hour, joining us until the end of the show. But after the break, we've got Bob Holt to dig into this Arkansas basketball team just a little bit more. So stay with us on halftime.
Five seconds to go. Madden, right side. Three-pointer on the way. No good. Qualls with the dunk at the buzzer. It goes and Arkansas wins. It goes and Arkansas wins. Qualls with a two-hand finish. Arkansas wins the ball game.
Listen to every Razorback basketball game right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
A new year means it's time for new work boots, work shoes, safety shoes, casual shoes, fishing shoes, hiking boots, and cowboy boots. Gelco Outdoors has the largest selection and the best brands, ready to make your feet feel happy in the new year. Crappie fishermen, Gelco is stocking up for the spring season. Come check out the gear. 50% off clothing on the clearance rack, loaded with New Year savings. Gelco Outdoors, your store for work and the great outdoors. 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Make today more interesting with Betly's online sports betting action. You can bet on pro and college games with Betly, the only online sports book in Arkansas and Tennessee. And right now, every new customer can cash in on a $250 risk-free first bet. Download the Betly Sportsbook app now in the Apple and Google Play Store or visit Betly.com. With Betly, every game matters. Must be 21 or older and located in Arkansas or Tennessee to bet. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Hey, back again at Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw. Nobody will pay you more for your trade than Harry Robinson. That's a statement you've said for years, but you back it up every day.
Yes, definitely. We want to give you more money for your vehicle that you're trading in. And hey, even if you're not trading a vehicle, you're not buying something, we still want to buy the vehicle that you're driving. So if you're driving a 2015 or newer with less than 120,000 miles, we want to buy it and we'll pay you top dollar for it. So come down here and see us.
It's amazing how many times people come in, they have an extra car for whatever reason, one's been given to them, don't need to keep two on the insurance, whatever the situation. That's the perfect situation to turn that into cash today.
Yes, definitely. Come down here, title in hand. Harry said open up the checkbook, start buying cars, so that's what we're doing. We can get you a check cut today. Come down here and see us and get more money for your vehicle.
It's all at Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw, and online at harryrobinson.com.
The people have voted, and Evans Body Shop has been recognized. Voted Best in the River Valley this year and 5 years running Best of the Best Independent Body Shop. We are so grateful for the support of our community. EBS has hundreds of 5-star reviews and countless satisfied customers. We invite you to experience a customer service level that sets our shop apart from the others. Call or come by today to see why we say
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
The cold and flu seasons are here, and Law's Drug Store has what you need to safely care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all the over-the-counter cold and flu remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointments for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
That sound you hear is a college football fan eating Cheez-It. Listen closely. You can hear them enjoying Cheez-It crackers made with 100% real cheese. Keep listening. They're snacking on Cheez-It while they cheer for their favorite team. That's the sound of fans feeling the cheesiest. And that's how you win on game day. Cheez-It, official sponsor of the College Football Playoff.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Should start with Bob.
It's time to talk with a unique individual.
You said you and Diva are OGs, old guys? Brett, you spoke so positively recently. I mean, did you expect this to happen?
He's a man of mystery.
Why do you always talk about Arkansas? But go ahead.
Well, why do you always talk about Kentucky? Hey, it's Bob again. I think I'm unmuted now. I figured it out. Man, you win the lottery 3 times, get to go to Starkville.
A man whose incisive questions and rapier wit.
Hey, John, did I add a 2-parter if that's okay? What did you mean? I'm sorry. I'm not that hip. Man, we got to get the Packers straightened out. Losing to the Jets, that ain't in Lambeau, that ain't good.
That placed him on the Mount Rushmore of Arkansas sports writers.
What do you think about this?
Yeah, Bob. There's a future in that, yeah.
Here he is, the one and only Bob Holt.
Hey, guys.
I do think this team is playing hard, but we're off. If 2 players that you built your roster around aren't here.
It's Eric Musselman last night. I know Bob Holt was watching, and he was there, and he was asking questions. Bob, coach says that they're offensively challenged, and I think you just watch the games right now. You can tell. So how is Arkansas going to win basketball games for the foreseeable future?
Well, they've got to. I think they've got to get back to forcing more turnovers that creates offense. You know, earlier in the season, when they were, got off to such a good start, they were really dominating the points off turnovers. And I know they're playing less talented teams. Obviously, they've stepped up in class against these SEC teams, and they've had a pretty, tough start here in terms of who they're playing. They're playing some pretty tough teams. Alabama's obviously really good, but they got beat last night, I think 24-7 on points off turnovers, and at Auburn it was, I think, 25-6. So that isn't even close. That's basically what Arkansas was doing to other teams. And so they've got to get more live ball turnovers they can convert into points, because they've obviously struggled against said defenses. They don't shoot the three very well. I think they can shoot it better than they have. I mean, they were 2-16. And
you can't shoot it any worse.
Yeah, well, they could all go over whatever.
Man.
Yeah, but and another thing is free throws. I mean, on the season they've been a pretty decent free throw shooting team. I think a little over 70%. They might have fallen below that, but when you get to the line, you got to convert at a higher rate than they have. They've been shooting around 60%. I mean, Anthony Black was 1 for 5, which was kind of a shock to me from the line. But I think they got to get more steals, from their backcourt that can start fast breaks. They've got to hit their free throws better. I think they can. I don't think they'll keep shooting threes this badly. Maybe they will. Or maybe it'll get worse. Maybe they'll do some offers. But I think those are 2 areas they can definitely get better in. And because you hit more of those free throws, and it puts more pressure on the other teams.
Well,
Eric talked about that at Auburn. That it was hard to keep pressure on Auburn because they weren't converting their free throws at a very high rate.
Yeah, and that's I mean, I know we talk about it, but Anthony Black, they're going to take him away. He never seemed like he really felt comfortable yesterday, because he is our guy. He's the guy that they're going to try to take away, and that's where it helps when you have a guy like Nick Smith, and then maybe a guy like Graham. If he can come in and give us some points, maybe defenses have to start focusing on him a little bit, and then that can open up a little bit more for Anthony Black and Ricky Council.
Yeah, that was definitely the most assertive I've seen Jalen Graham be, and he's been kind of hit and miss this year with his minutes played. He's if you look at his points per minute, it's really good, and he's got a high shooting percentage. Of course, most of his points are coming in the lane, but basically all of his points are right around the basket. But he was really assertive last night. He hit 8 out of 10, and I think he had 5 boards. That's been so they wanted to see him do more rebounds. So I got to believe. I think that's another thing that they at least need to try, is to give Jalen Graham more minutes, because when he goes in there and gets minutes, usually he's been making things happen offensively. Now, there's a couple games early in the year he didn't play. I think they felt like he needed to raise his intensity level in practice, and maybe they feel like he can be a defensive liability at times.
But I love him 10 feet from the basket, Bob. Like his moves and the way he handles himself around the rim, man. I think he might be our best inside presence. Yeah,
and like I say, he was very assertive, and when he was finishing, he had a really good dunk. He has they call him spin cycle. At least that's what Kamani Johnson said earlier in the season, because he's got these good spin moves, and and when they collapsed on him, he had a really nice assist for a dunk to one of the Mitchell twins. I forget which. But so he looked very aggressive and very assertive. Now, he'd scored 16 against North Carolina Greensboro, or Asheville, I guess it was. It was Asheville, but that's a lot of difference scoring at 16 against Alabama's bigs versus UNC Asheville. So I thought that was a performance that definitely should earn him more minutes. I think he had 16, only 19 minutes. I'd have to add it up, but his minutes, his points per minute is really high, and I think you have to feel like, hey, let's give that guy some more minutes, and maybe they have to do more with the way the three ball has not been dropping. They need to do more, more inside out. I mean, they started a bigger lineup last night. They started Mikel Mitchell along with Makai's twin brother. I thought they might start Kamani Johnson in the same place as Devo to go bigger, but instead they started Mikel and had Ricky Council come off the bench. And Devo Davis, who's 6'4", did a really solid
great
job
game.
On,
his best conference game of the year so far.
Yeah, on Brandon Miller. I know Miller got off in the second half. The crazy thing was not only did he not Miller, comes in averaging over 19 points, leading the league. 43% 3-point shooter, gets to the line a lot, 80-some%. He didn't even attempt a shot or a free throw in the first half, which just shocked me. If I were Nate Oates, I would have, during a timeout, I would have told guys, I don't care what you got to do, you get this guy a freaking shot,
And that also shows a little bit, Bob, of like how good Alabama might be.
Mm-hmm.
That their top scorer, barely even showed up in the first half, and they were still tied in the toughest place to win in the SEC in Bud Walton Arena, and then he goes off in the second half. I mean, how much can we put last night's game to Alabama being as good as advertised?
Well, I think you have to give Alabama a lot of credit, and I wrote about this, but they have some really high-level wins away from home. They're 4-0 on the road now. That includes a win at Houston when Houston was number 1, and Houston's back at number 1. Houston led that game on their home court by 15, and Alabama came back and beat them. I think it was 71-65. They beat North Carolina and Michigan State up in Portland. They won at Mississippi State to open the SEC play by double digits. I mean, they are really, really good. They've added some great pieces with Brandon Miller, who we talked about, and Noah Clowney, a big freshman, and their point guard, who had 26 last night, the transfer from Ohio. He's really good. Javon Quinterly, who was the MVP of the SEC tournament a couple of years ago, he's coming off the bench for him, And they had some. Arkansas did a good job getting him in foul trouble, but Alabama's got some pretty good depth coming off that bench. They got a lot of size, and Arkansas cut it to 2 on that Jalen Graham basket, and the place is going crazy. And you feel like you are saying, man, we got them right where we want them. They cut a 12-point deficit to 2, and those freshmen come out, and Clowney gets free in the corner, drains the 3, 6'10" kid, and then Miller hits back-to-back threes, and Arkansas obviously helped.
Well, I mean, and so at some point you're waiting for somebody to come off the bench and
drop threes. I mean, that's impressive. I mean, to me, Brandon Miller reminds me a lot of Jabari Smith. Last year for Auburn, a big that's really smooth and handles the ball well, and just got great length. But yeah, Alabama's really, really good. They Alabama and Tennessee right now have to be the top teams in the SEC. Alabama to me looks like a Final Four contender with what they can do. Obviously, it's a long season, but I think you got to remember Alabama could come in and blow Arkansas. I mean, it's a 15-point final, but it's a 2-point game with less than 5 minutes playing. And then Alabama just went on a big run, and Arkansas couldn't answer. But I don't think you have to be ashamed of losing to Alabama, even at home. That's a game we thought Arkansas could get. I honestly don't know what the line was, but Alabama is playing really, really well, and they're playing really well away from home. So. Just because Arkansas couldn't beat Alabama doesn't mean they can't still go on and have a good season. I don't think,
Well, first thing, they got to get a little confidence back, Got to get a little confidence back. And playing Vanderbilt on Saturday. And I hate the idea. Muss is talking about must-win game against Mizzou. I don't know if he said anything like that about Alabama. I doubt you can because it's not realistic to look at that as the number 4 team in the country and it's a must-win game. Vanderbilt, I know it's on the road, but – and then Ole Miss, like these next 2 are pretty close to feeling like must-win games.
Well, actually, they play at Missouri. They play at Vanderbilt and at Missouri. So, and Missouri, is obviously they got beat at A&M the other night pretty decisively. But Missouri's had a real good season. They gave Arkansas all they wanted up here, or down here, I guess, from Columbia. But, yeah, it's a tough start to the SEC. I mean, all these SEC games are tough. You look at South Carolina. I know Kentucky's struggling, but who would have ever thought in their right mind that South Carolina would go into Lexington and beat Kentucky? And so it really is one of those, anybody can beat anybody kind of things. And, Arkansas, yeah. One thing, when Eric said must wins a couple times, like when they opened up with a win at Auburn a couple years ago, he says those after victories. I don't think he's going to say that after a loss, like, well, we had to win that game and we did. I don't think any coach is going to say that, and he's probably not going to, say that before, at least not to the media. Maybe he'll say that to the players. But again, you maybe don't want to put too much pressure on your players too. But yeah, Vanderbilt's, they have the odd configuration with the benches on the baseline and the elevated floor, and it's, built like an opera house or whatever. It's a weird place to play. It's unique, and most of Arkansas's players have not played there, obviously, with all the newcomers, and so that won't be easy. Vanderbilt was leading at Tennessee by 2 the other night, and then Tennessee, kind of blew them out in the second half. That won't be an easy game. I don't think any road game is going to be easy for Arkansas this year. With all the young guys they have, or but even the newcomers aren't used to this SEC schedule. But they need to win at least one of these next 2 on the road, and obviously it'd be great for them if they could win 2. But it's a tough start to this SEC play because 4 of the first 6 are on the road, and then your home games are Alabama, who's really, really good, and Missouri, who's much better than expected. So at the end of the day, you get 9 games at home and 9 on the road, but it's a rough start for Arkansas on paper with, like, say, 4 of the first 6 on the road.
Well, and Arkansas was a team on the rise, back-to-back Elite Eights, and I know it's a new squad, but, man, they got a target on their back. Every game, when you go to back-to-back Elite Eights, man, everybody's bringing their A-game against you, so we got to bring our A-game every time.
Yeah, and Arkansas is the only SEC team that got past the Sweet 16 the last 2 years. Alabama won the league.
Everybody knows that, yeah.
Yeah, and Eric, let's face it, Eric's out there. I think he does a great job marketing his program.
Mm-hmm.
He's certainly not shy, and I'm not saying he should be, but I think there's probably a lot of jealousy, with the attention Arkansas gets, and Eric's always out there on social media, which, I say personally, I think that's a great thing, but it could rub other people the wrong way. I don't know. But, people should appreciate the fact that other teams want to beat you that bad because it means you're good. I remember, John McDowell, the great track and field cross-country coach at Arkansas, he always said, he didn't want the other coaches to like him, because that meant he wasn't beating them. So Arkansas has won a lot of games since Eric got here, and I still think they can. I was just looking at the schedule. I still think there's 10 or 11 SEC wins out there for Arkansas. I'm not saying they're going to get there, and obviously, if Nick Smith can come back, that would help. I don't know if he will or not. I certainly don't think they can count on that with his knee situation, but. Arkansas still. Who in the SEC or in college basketball would not want Anthony Black? Who would not want Ricky Council? Who would not want, Jordan Walsh? And by the way, speaking of him, he's a talented kid who needs to get going. He had, a good game against Oklahoma and a good win. He had a good game over a pretty solid Bradley team, but he's kind of quieted down offensively, and so I think they need more from him. You guys talk about what can they do offensively. Get Jordan Walsh going would help a lot because he's a McDonald's All-American. They need more from him.
Bob, I saw you're right about Isaiah Satania redshirting during the track season. So it means he'll be able to go through practices both with football and with track without having to worry about trying to compete with track. What do you think this does for Satania for his future in both sports?
Well, I think it's a good thing because, he didn't go through spring football last year. So many of these kids are coming in now and doing, early enrolling and going through spring ball, leaving high school early.
They still call it gray shirt?
I don't know if they call it that or not.
Yeah, that's what they used to call it. Yeah, gray shirt when you'd show up a semester early.
Yeah, I remember when I first started doing this, guys, nobody was up here in the summer. I mean, the players were, but none of the newcomers were. And the first day they were getting fitted for helmets and pads and all this kind of stuff. It's totally changed. now you've got 15, 16 newcomers or more coming in. Certainly with the transfer portal, you probably have 20 guys or something in here plus. But but Isaiah, because he's such a great, he wanted to compete in track, understandably. Well, he can't compete in high school track and enroll in college, so he stayed at Fayetteville, which I think is great for guys to do that. I think I get the motivation for coming in early, and I think players probably are feeling more and more pressure to do that to keep up. But this will be his first spring football, and he was hurt during part of the year, so he obviously missed practice time. Only got to play in 4 games, so I think it makes sense. He's still going to be a 2-sport guy, but he is on football scholarship, and so this is a chance for him to get some good, a lot of good work in the spring in spring football, but also do track. And after football season, because he played in the bowl game and stuff. I don't think you come back from Memphis and the next day you're out of track practice. I don't think that's good physically or mentally for a guy. So. If I understood Chris Buckham, the track and field coach, correctly, he's going to start doing some track practices on Monday. And I'm honestly not sure what the first day of spring ball is going to be. I'm not sure if they've announced that. Maybe they have, but that's usually, in March and April. And so he can do that and mix in some track and then not have to have, the pressure of competing in track. Because, if he's just starting track practice, and they've got their first meet tomorrow, by the way, in Fayetteville. If everybody wants to go see some track, there's a track meet in Fayetteville tomorrow. I think it starts about 2 and goes till about 8. And but Arkansas really loaded up in the transfer portal. They've got a lot of good athletes. And so, as Chris said, Isaiah's going to be a lot better as a fifth-year guy than he is right now. So I think it's good for him, probably mentally and physically. He needs to, and he needs to go through spring football because he's never done that before. And especially, I say, coming off an ankle injury that cost him a lot of practice time, and then. And he doesn't have to feel the pressure of competing in track because I just don't think he'd be there right now. But he's an elite athlete, so he can definitely help him big time in both sports.
Bob, we'll leave it there. Appreciate you hopping on with us, as always, on these Thursdays. Thank you for your time, and look forward to talking with you next week.
Okay, you guys take care.
All right, Bob Holt with the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette joining us here on Halftime on a Thursday. Halftime is brought to you by our friends at Riley Farm Dental. They're at the entrance of Riley Farm, providing every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, cosmetics, all in one place, under one roof. Doctors Sparkman, Nanda, and Farmer will give their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental at 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A. It's the entrance to Riley Farm off Highway 71 in Fort Smith. 226-3500 for an appointment, or go to RileyFarmDental.com. We're going to open up the phone lines in the next segment, 877-377-6963. We'll come right back.
2023 is finally here, and Red River Dodge of Heber Springs is here to help you start something new.
Like with the all-new redesigned Jeep Grand Cherokee, available in 2 or 3-row seating with all the luxury and safety features you love.
Or like a TRX with 700 horsepower. We guarantee that we have a vehicle that will fit your needs.
So for all your new Ram, Dodge, Chrysler, and Jeep vehicles, visit us online at redriverdodge.com.
And remember, at Red River, we deliver during the Start Something New sales event.
Attention! Per the current government mandate, U.S.-based insurers are now required to cover at-home COVID testing kits with no out-of-pocket fees to you. If you have a current insurance plan, you are eligible to receive up to 8 COVID-19 tests shipped to you each month absolutely free as long as the government mandate is in effect. Just visit yourfreetest.net to register now. That's yourfreetest.net to receive your tests shipped to you at no cost. Go to yourfreetest.net. Medicare insured or not eligible.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging, the Xerox authorized dealer in the River Valley. You might know us as your source for large Xerox multifunction or production printers. But for many of you, your needs have changed. Smaller equipment has become more necessary, and we are here to help. We carry the Xerox desktop models, but also brother workhorse printers and multifunctions with 3-year replacement warranties included. So give us a call at 479-783-6600 or visit us at dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document solutions to the River Valley.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company has 2 locations, 1316 South Zero and 200 South Zero Street in Fort Smith, serving the glass and glazing needs of Fort Smith, Northwest Arkansas, and Eastern Oklahoma, commercial and residential. Tub and shower enclosures, mirrors, glass table, and countertops cut to custom size are just a few services offered by Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company. Arkansas Glass and Mirror stocks laminate glass, plexiglass, Lexan, window glass, and mirror and plate glass. For more information, call 646-4300. That's 646-4300.
Need to lose 100 pounds this year? Don't restrict your diet. Forget joining a gym. Instead, lose the weight of that cheating spouse of yours. At Mock Legal Solutions, there is no hourly billing. You pay one flat fee for your divorce. Call today, 479-769-1505. And let's be honest, it's closer to 200 pounds, right? Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price.
Love and marriage, love and marriage.
It's a new year. Why not put a new to you vehicle in your driveway? Road Chevrolet wants to buy your vehicle today, and that means you can get out of your old ride and into a great car, truck, or SUV from Road Chevrolet. In fact, trucks starting at only $14,482. Yeah, trucks starting at $14,482. Find new roads. Road Chevrolet, just off I-540 exit 2A Van Buren. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Give them a call or send them a text at 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
A couple of callers have taken the opportunity to break out the phones, dial those numbers. Let's get to them here. Hogballin, been on hold a little longer. Hi, Hogballin. How you doing?
Doing all right. Hey, we went to the game last night. I guess I watched a different game than what everyone else was seeing, because most of the people that was around me and like on the way to our vehicles after the game was dropping about the officiating, which, I mean, I kind of agree with them. There was a lot of crappy calls. But, I mean, that's going to be every game. You're going to have calls like that. My thing was, I think our biggest opponent is us. When you turn the ball over as much as we did last night and don't shoot free throws well, I feel like we should have won by 10 points last night. I don't feel like Alabama played that well. And I just wanted to make that comment and see what y'all thought about it.
I don't think making free throws for Arkansas would have made all that much of a difference. Alabama got to the line 36 and made 25 of them. Arkansas got to the line 23, made 15 of them. And all the turnovers, I mean, not all of these are unforced turnovers. There's another team wearing a uniform that's helping create those turnovers. And missed shots sometimes lead to pressing and lead to turnovers. I think Arkansas was beaten by Alabama yesterday. I think they were beaten by a team that's just playing better than them right now. I think pointing to the free throws is too simplistic about one thing that Arkansas is struggling at right now. That's one of a few things that they are struggling to do.
Gotta have. We had 9 assists and 15 turnovers, Phil. You gotta have 15 assists and 9 turnovers. There's a couple areas we gotta improve on.
Tuna's up next. We got Charlie with us for a moment here. Hi, Charlie. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. Just decided to take off early, call in. Great Phil Elson, great Matty T, and one of my favorite Razorback players of all time. Just decided to say the heck with work today. I decided to take the rest of the day off. How about that?
Nice.
I mean, to me, it just makes sense. I mean, look, I'm going to piggyback a little bit off what the last caller said, and Phil, you were exactly right. It's not just one thing in free throws. And Matt, the problem with what you said, and I agree with you 100%, but the only problem with it is as Musk said last night, it's hard to get assists when you're not making it, when the person's passing it. Wherever it is,
you got to make shots. No, you're exactly. That's what Phil said in the first. Yeah. You got to make shots. And
it's not even just about like outside shots and things of that nature. I'll say this: Arkansas is going to play a pack, man. I mean, they're going to. And Bama didn't play zone. They just ran under every single screen. They packed the lane, and that was it. You don't get called for 3 seconds in college, so defensive 3 seconds. So, I mean, that's what their plan was, and that's what Arkansas is going to see every game, that and zone every game. And I'll say this. I did hear, guys, I don't know if you guys heard this. John Neighbors posted it on Twitter that Nick's dad said that Nick would be back this year. Now, granted,
he called. I think his dad had somebody call up that station to say that he'll be back. So I mean, he's trying to maybe quell some of the things that people are maybe saying about Nick or thinking about Nick. I'll believe it when I see it.
I agree. I agree with you too, and also this too, Phil. Like he might come back, but he might only come back for one game when he gets banged up again. So that's where my thing is with it, and I'm just not even going to worry about it. I think Musk was so honest last night in his post-game interview, guys. I mean, and he's always honest, but that was like his real and honest, and you could just hear it. He was just almost, I'm not saying he sounded defeated, but he just almost sounded like he's searching and searching. He really, right now, doesn't know what to do. And it's different last year when you have guys that that at some point are eventually going to turn it on. And Stanley Amude, Phil, what did he shoot before conference play last year? Like under 20% from three? Then he just turns it on in conference play. And then we all know what Jay Will was able to do. And you had guys that were capable last year of making threes when they needed to. And they may not shoot well ranking-wise, but you just knew it. At some point, somebody's going to make some shots. And
Charlie, that's absolutely right, man. That's absolutely right. That's the point of it. Is you can point to the overall team 3-point shooting or just overall shooting. And be like, well, it isn't really very good as far as shooting percentages are concerned. They are second in the league in field goal percentage, but that not in SEC play. The difference. Look, last year's team was not a great 3-point shooting team. I think they were 31% from behind the arc for the year. Get to the Elite Eight. But they still had a J.D. Note and a Stanley Amude that were threats to hit that three-pointer. So you still had to guard them out there, and that would open up the middle. Every one of the previous 3 years under Muss, there's been at least 1 or 2 players that you could count could hit the three. Isaiah Joe, J.D., Moses, Mason, Amude. Right now, the players that could hit the three are injured. And if Nick Smith does come back, how long would it take for him to get to be the player that he really is? Because you don't just get on the floor and automatically you're playing like a 5-star when you haven't played basketball in 6 or 7 weeks. So I don't think he's the Superman that comes and swoops in and saves everything right now. I don't think that's going to be the case with this. We need to break. And we'll wrap up hour number 1 in just a moment here on Halftime, so stay with us.
Get the best value, service, and TV locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional Dish authorized retailer. Stop in and ask us about the Hopper 3, Dish's most advanced DVR that delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now. WOW World of Wireless, 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details, or online at shopwownow.com. World of Wireless is located at 601 Church Street in Barling, next to Frank Rowe Furniture. That's 601 Church Street in Barling. Come see us at our new location.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
Thank you from Art's Barbecue and Burgers for a successful year. Art's Barbecue and Burgers wants to shout out our amazing community of customers that we are grateful and thankful for, each and every one of you. Art's Barbecue and Burgers wants to continue to enjoy our best barbecue, burgers, all-you-can-eat catfish every Friday night, and of course, the great sides and desserts. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, wishing everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Art's Barbecue and Burgers on Rogers, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience, specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Call Phil Hicks in Greenwood or Wade Gilkey in Fort Smith.
Come get you some. 2728 Townsend Avenue is your off-road and performance center headquarters. They've got everything from lift kits, wheels, LED light bars, UTV parts and accessories, winches and tires. Need general 4x4 repair? No problem. Come Get You Some has one of the largest 4x4 shops in the States. They do it all, from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest off-road machines in the country. Call them today at 782-6833. That's 782-MUD. Or check them out online at cgysoffroad.com. Come get you some.
Van Alma Tire Center is always right around the corner from you with all the major brand tires for you to choose from. Bridgestone, Firestone, Cooper, and more. Turn into Van Alma Tire Center for all your tire needs, alignments, oil changes, brakes, and more. With service you can depend on, Van Alma Tire Center is your one-stop shop for all your vehicle and tire needs. Right around the corner at 6805 Alma Highway, 5 miles east of Van Buren and 2 miles west of Alma.
Gray Steel Structures Incorporated is a family-owned business based in Greenwood specializing in steel structures. Owner Will Gray has 20 years' experience doing the job right and making sure you're satisfied with the structure you have a need for. Gray Steel Structures serves both commercial and residential customers. Whatever your need may be, mini storage, RV storage, home workshop, or any metal building need, make Gray Steel Structures your first call. Gray Steel Structures, 252-2783. That's 252-2783.
GraySteelStructuresInc.com. That's Gray with an A.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
You can run, you can hide, never let it inside. Keep living your life in the dark. Sooner or later that gentle persuader is gonna catch up with your heart. Make you a dreamer, believer, believing in love.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Give them a call or send them a text at 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Yesterday I had to run a quick errand. Ran to the hardware store and had to pick up a rake. Got all these leaves out here that I need to take care of whenever they start picking up the yard waste again. But I had to park twice, guys, because the first time I went in the parking spot, I was a little bit over one of those white lines, that guides you into the spot. So I needed to make sure that I wasn't over the white line. When do you repark? Do you repark if any piece of your car is on the white line, or does a piece of you have to be over that line? Because I can answer for a lot of other people. There are a lot of other people out there that don't care if their car takes up half another parking spot. I happen to be a different sort of a person.
I do care, and I can say with 100% certainty when I always do repark is when I'm with my fiance, because as soon as we get out and she sees that I am even just a little bit onto the white, she makes me get back in and fix it. So it's just a good habit to have, I guess.
I usually embarrass the person that parked so bad that they never want to let me ride with. I'm like, you've been driving for how long? You don't know how to park? These are basic things we should know how to do. Like, we don't park on the, act like you've been there before, hand the ball back to the ref. How do you not know how? I can't ride with you again. So when we're riding down the road, you don't know how to keep it in the line. Like, you just embarrass them so much where they feel so bad about life that they got to park good for the rest of the life.
What about when you're already parked there and then somebody like in a big truck parks so close to the line that you can't even hardly get in your driver's side door?
I don't know that. I usually park away from everybody too. I never pull up right front. I park away and walk in.
I like to walk a little bit.
But yeah, have some respect. Yeah.
You ever have one of those kindred spirits moments with somebody that you've never met before where you get the last spot at the grocery store, but you had to wiggle it in like you were parking a smart car, and you had to turn yourself into, you had to lose like 40 pounds just to get out of the car.
You make the passenger get out first. You're like, get out so I can get out on my side. Yeah.
Right. And then the two of you, somebody that's just walking to their car is looking at it like, wow, that took some effort. You're like, you know what? You and I, did we just become best friends? Because we hate this car right in front of us. Jody reparks. Good answer. AJ in Texarkana does not care. Please tell me, AJ, that you don't have one of these giant Ford F-250s and you don't care and you take it up 3 spots with that sucker. All right, Clay Henry joins us soon. 877-377-6963. Halftime right back.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Drs. Sparkman, Nanda, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind everyone to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I'd also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify.
The homestead tax credit can save you up to $375 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor.
Fishing never stops. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle has everything from jigs to raincoats, Todd Huckabee crappie rods, Bobby Garland crappie jigs, and stay warm and dry with a River West rain suit, the area's largest selection of Zoom plastics, Flash Mob Jr., Kitech swim baits, Mega Bass rods, plus rattle traps, life jackets, and rod and reel repair. Find all the top brands and everything you need at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 1 mile east of I-540 on Highway 64. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Searching for a promising career change? Looking for an established company that pays competitively and values its team members? Then come be a part of the Beckert family. Beckert in Van Buren has immediate openings for production operators paying up to $29 an hour. Sundays are paid at time and a half, and night shift work has an added premium of $1 per hour. Applications are available 24/7 at Beckert, located off I-40 at Exit 3. Apply today.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Morning clouds clearing to sunshine this afternoon. Our high temperatures today much cooler, upper 40s north. Will be in the low 50s further south. Expecting a partly cloudy sky tonight, a much colder go of it, mid to upper 20s. And then Friday, bounty of sunshine, low 40s north, upper 40s south. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today.
Good station.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
You said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I put my heart up. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Rock on three! 1, 2, 3! Turn that back, your
Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
And into the second hour, halftime here on a Thursday. Clay Henry's working on getting in, so we'll have him pretty soon. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts here. Yeah, just start a little bit of something with this. Do you repark when you're on the white lines? It's like the same conversation some people have about returning your cart at the grocery store. These things work in tandem sometimes, right?
Don't be a douchebag. Just don't be that guy, man. There's no reason to do that. That's just how it's common sense.
The carts drive. Like, how lazy are you?
How lazy are you? I'm glad we're not friends. I don't think you're the type of person I'd want to hang out with.
Sometimes the cart being left in the parking spot leads to somebody parking out of the lines. That's what I mean. These things do work in tandem together, don't they?
And the people that drive the big old trucks and they just want to go right up front and park, it's like, bro, get over yourself.
Well, we got really good news this morning from two sources. Peyton Hillis is off the ventilator.
Woohoo.
And so able to breathe on his own. So the slow recovery continues for Peyton Hillis. I know his girlfriend, Angela Cole, had mentioned it, and then his sister mentioned something on social media also recently. So that's the best news we can have today.
Best news I heard today, man. That's I hope he recovers well and is healthy. Yes, sir.
Slow and steady for Peyton Hillis, who I believe remains in ICU but is able to breathe on his own. So that's good to hear. I think I hear Clay with us right now. Hey, yep. Clay. Hey, how you doing?
I love me some Peyton Hillis. That's a fun dude, and he's got a harrowing tale. Would you say harrowing tale to give us someday?
No kidding. Whenever he's able to, I think we'll all be completely glued to his recounting of this story of saving his kids' lives and basically putting his own life in jeopardy for his kids. I know there's a lot of us that, given that moment, without a moment to think about it, you would do the exact same thing. So yeah, that is good to hear. Clay, we've been kicking around the loss against Alabama yesterday, and trying to figure out what it all means. And I mean, it's an Arkansas team that struggles to score, and I think that's just going to be a thing as they go throughout the SEC season right now. It's just, I don't think it's a team that's going to routinely be able to make it to 75 points. But then there's the other aspect of this too. It's like Alabama just looked like the more confident team, the team that knew that if they needed to go on a run that they could, and they did when they needed to. And right now that's a team that's playing potentially the best in the country. It's just you see them come into Bud Walton Arena and Arkansas, their worst loss under Muss at home. I'm just talking by point margin. I mean, the level of opponent is a different thing. And I'm not sure exactly what to put on yesterday's loss, what it means. But I just know I think this team is going to struggle to score against a lot of teams, not just Alabama, not just LSU, and not just Auburn.
Yeah, they got to figure out a way to win. And it may be that they win different than what we thought they were going to win. And you could hear Eric Musselman's tone, frustration. He knows that he's down some bullets. I mean, just imagine if Alabama was dealing with the loss of Brandon Miller and Noah Clowney. That's their two freshman studs that are just terrific. 6'9", 6'10", both can shoot it. And that's where Arkansas is without Nick Smith. You can argue over who was the more highly regarded player, Brandon Miller or Nick Smith, but it was right there together. Take your pick of which one was going to be the freshman of the year. So that's where Arkansas is right now without their two best players. And so how do you make up for that? And one of those, it's always about possessions. You want to, I mean, it's, do you dominate with rebounds? They thought they would dominate with block shots, but they lost, one of their rebounders in Brazil. And they thought that they would produce a lot of turnovers. Well, they have for most of the year, but that's kind of gone away in SEC play, and I don't know whether that's a product of the way they tried to play. That the two losses on the road and the way they tried to play last night. So their best guy in the passing lanes is Devo. But they took that away by just making him deny the ball for Miller. He was not in the passing lanes last night, so the deflections that Devo usually gives you were gone. I'm not sure that's going to be the case going forward. So, but that's what I heard from Eric. We've got to get in transition. Defense fuels offense, create more turnovers.
No question. The defense that gives you confidence and it gives you easy buckets. It gives you simple buckets. And the thing is,
those are 80%.
Nobody cares, Clay, and we know that, that nobody cares that our two best players are out. So it's the next guy up, and we got to step up. And I was impressed with Devo, but more importantly, I was impressed with Graham on the offensive side of the ball. He might be our best offensive skilled big. I think he is our best offensive skilled big. Because Jordan Walsh is just really an athlete. He's not. You don't have to run plays for him, and where Jalen Graham, he seems to be a willing passer too. But he's very confident on that offensive side of the ball.
The problem that you have with Graham, you're right. He is exactly what you said, but because you don't stretch the floor with your
he's not an outside shooter. Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is he's not going to have any room to operate in there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was, and I think I can't remember if it was Jimmy or Jay's. Like he's got to kind of bull his way around in there, and you could see he's trying to, navigate. Well, Alabama, on the other hand, when they give it to somebody in the paint, there's nobody in the lane because everybody's covering their shooters. So that's the problem with Graham, and I think they knew that. But that's where they're at, and they're going to have to get him ready now.
I think you're looking at a team that doesn't know what it is they do best, how to get to that point. And I think getting out and running is a great idea for this team. In order to do that, you got to create turnovers, you got to rebound and quickly outlet. Maybe just getting in a flow, right? Because there was never a flow yesterday. In fact, I don't think they got in a flow against Mizzou. And that was fueled by defensive stops. in the 3 losses in SEC play, Auburn, LSU, Alabama, no flow at all. And I mean, it's almost like a chicken or the egg kind of a thing. I mean, a bucket can help start a flow, a stop can start it, and then keep it going again. And just haven't seen a team be able to get in that flow and no runs at all. It's been the opponents that have done that.
Yeah, their best 2 defensive, the best 3 are Council, Devo, and Black. They're the guys that are going to wreak havoc on the perimeter. And so at Auburn, Devo got 2 quick fouls, right? And then Black was in foul trouble last night. So that's the problem with with that. You have to I think Eddie Sutton, Nolan Richardson, and Eric Musselman will all 3 tell you it starts on defense. That's how you win games. Yeah, you got to score, but if you can wreak some havoc on defense, it's going to boost your shooting percentage probably 20 points because of the easy baskets that you get. So we'll see if that's where they can kind of find some identity. And I bet you that's where they go to work.
I feel like that has to change their mindset too, because I don't think they were built to be – look, I mean, defense first, understood. Under must, defense first. But there are certain things that happen after that. I think that they were built to be a team that could score and score on multiple levels.
Yeah.
And right now what they got to do is change a little bit into more like a grinded-out kind of a team. And I don't know if they were built for that at the start. And in their mindset, I don't know if they view themselves that way.
Yeah, young players sometimes don't get it. They're worried about how many shots they get up. In the practice I watched, that was emphasized. We've got to get that blue-collar identity. And they thought they were going to – I mean – Musselman said he thought they would block shots. They thought they could block shots at all 5 positions. Nick Smith can block shots. Obviously, Brazil could. But what you lost in Nick Smith, and everybody says, well, that's a scorer, that's an offensive guy, and yeah, but he's a guy that would give you on ball defense against a guard. Well, they don't have one of those guys left. I don't think. Joseph Pinion is that. I don't think Darian Ford is
you're
that.
right. Nick Smith is just as athletic as anybody out there.
Yeah.
So he can. And Clay, also, it's the trickle-down effect. The teams, they would start their scouting report with Nick Smith. Now they start it with Anthony Black. And so your second guy would be Anthony Black. Your third guy would be Council or Brazil. And so now it starts there. And I thought Anthony Black still was the best player on the – I mean, he looked so talented, and he didn't have his best game. But it's because that's – who are you going to stop first? It's like when we played Auburn and they had their backup quarterback in, it's like we're going to make him throw it for 400 yards on us and to beat us. So they're good. They know Anthony Black is our best guy. That's who they look to stop.
Yeah, a big play in the game was the technical foul. And you think, oh, that's just a technical foul. No, it's also a personal foul. It's one of your 5 fouls, and it happens with, the ball being dead. So you just can't. And I mean, I don't blame him. He didn't start it. But you have to understand.
That's 2 or 3 games in a row they've been chippy with him, Clay. Like you'll see him kind of throwing a shoulder into him.
They're doing it.
Yeah.
And I'll go back to the Darrell Walker days. Best player on the floor for Eddie Sutton during that time frame, and he was temperamental, and you could do things that would cause an emotional rise, and he would have an explosion. And once everybody sees that, then that's what they do. And he's more, a double technical hurt Arkansas more than it did Alabama because they're deeper. So you're going to get bumped around. You're going to see, and you just have to absorb that and change your reputation where everybody's like, well, that ain't going to bother him. That's hurting us more than it's hurting him. So it's learning, and he's frustrated because he's going in there and getting clubbed and they're not calling everything. And I watched Ronnie Brewer Jr. go through that as a freshman. Mm-hmm. Took him a while. They were beating him around, and he was looking for calls. And when you're looking at him and complaining, it gets worse. They don't like that. And referee, it was an unevenly called game. It didn't cost Arkansas the game, but it was they had one great referee out there and 2 average ones, and they didn't always call it the same way. And I'm not saying that they called it
No,
one
they were
way
bad
or
in
the
the second
other,
half.
but
They
called it different at
it was
different
bad.
times.
It was bad in the second half. I'm still a Muss fan. I'm still on the bus, man. I still believe in him.
Oh, he can coach. I mean,
this team.
He will.
I mean, the team
Yeah.
as well. I believe in these players. I think they're going to go on a run and figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, you probably weren't going to – if I looked at the way the season shaped up to start the year, weren't going to win at Auburn. I didn't think. LSU, not a great team. People are beating them. I thought Alabama was probably the cream of the league, and that was going to be tough. You know, you might chalk up 2 losses there. So it's like, where else? You know, you can – Tennessee's a tough one. But, gosh, I like the chances against Kentucky now. That didn't look like it was. So, I mean, that's changed since the season's began. So they've got to just fix the things they can fix, get about 10 SEC wins, and they'll be in the tournament.
I think they're going to have to
might
find
have
a way
Nick Smith by then.
I think they're going to have to find a way to add, like, maybe 10 points, even against Vanderbilt. Because Vanderbilt can score a little bit. Arkansas can guard. Vandy can score a little bit. I don't think Saturday is just a pushover game going on the road where they haven't scored more than 59 points in a game so far. All right, we're going to break.
So, the 10 points might come on defense, though.
Well,
it might be their defensive transition points. Yep.
Sooner or later, they got to find a way to get that recipe
More
for
points.
a win on the road. 877-377-6963 to join us on halftime. We'll come right back after this.
I can go with the flow. Don't say it doesn't matter.
There's no place in the SEC that does it like this. Where the home court advantage is so huge when the fans show up.
Number one environment in college basketball, no argument, Bud Walton.
I ain't never heard of them get that loud. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Listen to every Razorback basketball game right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
When you need a plumber, call the name you know and trust. Ashley Air. The same great people that take care of your heating and cooling system can also meet your plumbing needs. Right now, take $50 off any plumbing repair or get a $129 drain cleaning plus a 2-year parts and labor warranty. Restrictions apply. If you have clogged drains, Ashley Air is the one to call. Go to ashley.air.com to schedule your plumbing service. That's ashley.air.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
Late breaking news. Central Hydraulics has teamed up with Wacker Neuson to meet your ever-growing equipment needs. Wacker Neuson offers loaders, excavators, skid steers, telehandlers, and more. Central Hydraulics is also your Gates Hydraulic Hose Center. Stop by today at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith. Central Hydraulics, helping you move the world.
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria is the #1 place to watch every Arkansas basketball game this season. The Hogzilla Specialty Pizza is only $16.99. The Hogzilla Specialty Pizza is made with pulled pork from Neumeyer's Rib Room, sausage, Canadian bacon, pepperoni, crispy bacon, and cheese. Dusted with Neumeyer's Rib Rub. Hop on the Must Bus for every Arkansas basketball game at Papa's. 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
World of Wireless is your local dish dealer, but they provide far more than that for the services you need in your home, including fast internet.
Yeah, go to wowfastinternet.com. That's www.wowfastinternet.com. If you live in a rural area, east of Barling, south of Greenwood, like Charleston, Ozark, Altus, Denning, Paris. We are now in Paris. In the Mansfield-Hartford area, call us at 877-305-3474 to get TV or internet service. If you need smart home products installed in your home, or you have a barn out back, or you have a he shed or a she shed and you want internet or TV services there, we specialize in installing TV and internet services in rural areas outside of the traditional home if you need a second home or a second building installed also.
Just go to wowfastinternet.com and you can figure out real quick if you live in the coverage area.
Yeah, high-speed unlimited internet, fast enough to stream. If you want dish TV service, 3-year price guarantee, $100 gift card, sign up now.
Right at the light next door to Frank Rowe Furniture in Barling, or call 877-305-DISH for World of Wireless.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
Do you need help with your next project? Metters Lumber True Value is here to help. A family-owned business since 1936, the staff has more than 90 years of experience in construction and the hardware business. If they don't have what you need, they know how to get it, and they are more than happy to accommodate your special order. So whether it's building a new deck, a paint project around the house, or needing a new set of tools, Metters Lumber True Value has everything you need. With locations in Alma, Ozark, and Clarksville, and you can shop online at metterslumber.com. Metters Lumber True Value.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Girl, you'll be your woman soon. Love you so much, can't count all the ways I'd die for you, girl, and all they can say is, he's not your kind. They never get tired of putting me down, and I never know when I come around what I'm gonna find. Don't let them make up your mind. Don't you know, girl, you'll be your woman soon. Please, come take my hand.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Clay Henry as well with us here. Did you guys see the final coaches poll for college football that came out? I think it was a couple of days ago. Georgia,
I did not.
TCU, Michigan,
I saw who was
Ohio
25,
State,
and I thought it was funny.
Amongst the top 5.
I saw who.
Texas is number 25. You like that one?
No, get out of here, man. They weren't the 25th. They just got in because they're everybody knows they weren't that good this year.
Well, they dropped 4 spots in both polls to 25th, coaches and AP. I only mention this because Nick Saban was one of the coaches that voted in the coaches poll this year. He and one other coach put Alabama second behind Georgia. Yeah. How do you like this? I mean, this is let me pull this thing up here. What did he vote? He voted, of course, Georgia number 1. You can't go anything past that. Then it was Alabama number 2. Then he went with TCU. And then he picked Michigan and Ohio State. He jumped Bama ahead of everybody except the national champion.
He's not going to pull that Steve Spurrier line where he's like, man, I had a GA fill that out. Of course, Tim Tebow's the number 1 quarterback in that.
So are you looking at his I'm sorry, Matt. I apologize.
No, you're good.
Are you looking at his complete ballot? Where did he put Texas? Because they played Texas to start the year, and Sarkisian's is his guy.
23.
Yeah.
Texas 23.
That's sad.
Yeah, I mean, really, even if you were the student staffer that gets that job from Coach Saban, here, do this vote for me every week. I too, at that point, if I wanted to keep my job, would put Alabama second. I think loyalty in that case might mean a little more to him.
That's more understandable, though, because we'd all know why you're doing it then.
Yeah, I mean, you got Alabama 5th as far as rest of the coaches think, and Nick Saban's got them at number 2. That's kind of nuts. Did you guys see Kevin Warren, he's now the former Big Ten president or Big Ten commissioner. You're never a president of a league. You're always a commissioner. He is now going to be the president of the Chicago Bears, leaving the Big Ten without a commish for the time being. I guess it's not too much of a surprise because Warren was an NFL guy for a long time before taking the Big Ten job, and I mean, look what he did with the Big Ten. I mean, he got them a great television deal that gets them all kinds of Saturday morning, afternoon, and evening windows on 3 different networks. Ripped away UCLA and USC from the Pac-12 to join the Big Ten. And made everybody laugh with that whole alliance thing with the ACC and the Pac-12, which didn't lead to anything except bad feelings between the 3 leagues. And it just makes me wonder. Remember, Kevin Warren came from the NFL. Could you see Greg Sankey ever leaving the SEC? This is a guy that has cut his teeth in college sports from the ground up. I mean, from being an intern all the way up to being the most powerful person in college sports, I think, when you look at, the SEC's weight. I couldn't imagine him ever leaving the Southeastern Conference unless they ask him to run the NCAA, and they've already made their choice.
Well, Bill Hancock is a friend of mine, and at some point he's going to retire with the college football playoff. And that might be a job. And Bill Hancock has done a marvelous job. I don't know if y'all have ever been around Bill, but he's a saint, and that's a possibility. And because I think that's going to continue to prosper and be a bigger entity. There are going to be more teams in it. It's going to be a bigger operation. There's going to be more games,
more money.
And Bill's older than me, so I would guess that he's either in his 70s or close.
Well, the Bears have the number 1 overall pick, so I wonder how much that has to do with it too. Like, is it just all on that side of the ball, or is he?
They're going to build a new stadium too.
So they're
that's a major part of it. For a team
that is
president,
a major part of it.
For a team president, I mean, they've got a general manager. I think he's the one, along with the coach, that worry more about the draft pick and everything. But Warren had a hand in the new football stadium in Minneapolis, which I say new. I think it's like 6 years old. U.S. Bank Stadium. He had a hand in building.
It's a great stadium. Yeah,
it looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
So the building of a stadium is a job, all in itself.
And usually it's team presidents that are working on that kind of a thing.
So Soldier Field, would it still be is it going to be just a totally different location in Chicago?
Well, the Chicago Bears, I think, didn't they purchase the racetrack site, Arlington Heights? I don't know. I guess they're not doing racing anymore. There have been a lot of racing tracks that have closed in recent years. But that's suburban Chicago. I'd seen, I think, the city of Chicago. I mean, they're going to do everything they possibly can to keep the Bears within the city limits, right there by the lake. And I saw a mock-up, a video mock-up of what they would like a new Soldier Field to look like, which kind of reminded me of SoFi Stadium.
Are they going to do a dome or like an open air? Like it's not going to.
I think they'd have to because they would view something like that. I mean, you're going to spend over $1 billion.
Everybody's going to have a retractable roof. Like
Nashville's building a new stadium. It's going to have a roof. Most of these big cities, when they're building a stadium like this, it's not just for the football team.
It's not just for the football guys. Like, let's win out in the elements.
I mean, it's for Final Fours. It's for concerts. It's to host the national championship.
It should be year round. You can use it year round. Yeah,
they'll play the Big Ten championship there. I mean, that's all that.
But that's why he's taking that job. But this is also what happens to conferences when you bring somebody in from outside college sports. I mean, who knows what will happen with Big 12, but Yormark, their president or their commissioner, is a TV guy. They brought him in to negotiate television contracts and for his ability to conduct business, not because he ever did anything in college sports. Kliavkoff, if I'm saying his name properly, I'm pretty sure he did not come from college sports. The Pac-12 commissioner, the previous guy in the Pac-12, came from the Women's Tennis Association. Jim Phillips is the commissioner of the ACC. I can't remember where he comes from. But Sankey is like a college sports guy. I mean, literally, that is where he spent his entire professional life. So that's right, Clay. I mean, the only way that you could see him leaving the SEC is for the next biggest thing in college sports. And honestly, I don't want to run the NCAA. I'd rather not do that because the sport of college football is run by the playoff committee or the organization over the playoff committee. So maybe that is the next step for Greg Sankey. 877-377-6963 to get with that. Clay, I also saw Roy Kramer is going into the College Football Hall of Fame. the former commissioner of the SEC. I didn't realize that he was a college football coach at Central Michigan. So, I mean, maybe the days of college athletes turned into college coaches, turned into athletic directors, turned into conference commissioners, those days are over. It certainly seems like they are, because I think conference commissioners now, they're coming from the business world. They're coming for their contacts, for their ability to negotiate television contracts. It has not much to do with what's your experience in college sports, because most of them have none.
Yeah, that's, without question, I don't care if he coached at all, but he's going in because of the way he expanded the SEC, changed the face of football with the playoffs. I mean, I'm talking about conference championship games, that whole deal. And that's Arkansas and South Carolina, the central players in that.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And then Slive took over, and then, Sankey was his right-hand man, and Greg Sankey's been running the SEC in a way that I think we all agree has been, for the most part, pretty good for the league. All right, a break on halftime. First, want to remind you about our friends at Pradco Fishing Lures. They make the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. That is the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the United States, and it's made by Pradco at their facility in Fort Smith. It's the #1 volume lure that they make out of their 20 fishing brands, and you can fish the Bobby Garland Baby Shad on a light jig head or underneath the float. You're going to find it's productive as live bait. You'll find it at lurenet.com and tackle stores all over our listening area. And halftime back after this quick break.
Joe Klein here for Bet Saracen, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app.
You bet it is, Joe, and football is in the air, which means Bet Saracen has everything you're looking for and more right there on your cell phone.
Now everyone can get in the game and follow your favorite team.
And that's right on the money. If putting down a little wager makes your favorite game a little more exciting, we'll go to the app stores and download Bet Saracen. We even got a demo video to show you how to play.
Or find it at betsaracen.com.
While most of us are familiar with the opioid epidemic, we forget about the threat we faced for decades, methamphetamine. Meth is our biggest drug threat, and the number of people dying each year continues to grow. It's destroying our communities. You've seen it. It might not have been your kid or your parent, but it was someone you know. To find ways to help, go to meovermeth.org. Choose your community. Choose your family. Choose yourself. I choose me over meth.
This message is sponsored by the North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education and the Me Over Meth grant.
The biggest savings and the best rebates on 2023 Fords is at Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw. Troy, you got 23s on the way. You still got some 22s on the lot, and they've got to get going.
Yes, we got to get rid of these 2022s. We have to make room for the new 2023s that are on the way. Good news is Ford still offering some special incentives on financing. Ford just came out with a $1,000 rebate on the 22 F-150s. Here at Harry Robinson, we're going to match that rebate. So you get your $1,000 rebate plus an additional $1,000 discount, and you can get qualified for that special financing.
It's been a while since we had rebates worth noting. This is a big deal, and you're matching the rebate up to $1,000.
Yes, we are matching the rebate. So whatever rebate Ford is offering you on whatever vehicle out here on the lot, we are going to double that rebate. So Harry Robinson's going to give you an additional discount on top of the rebate and on top of the awesome financing.
It's all at Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
With over 8,000 square feet of all the latest trends in lighting and plumbing fixtures, Great House Fixtures has all the brands you know and love, such as Visual Comfort Lighting and Delta Faucets. Their experienced staff can help you design and select the perfect fixtures for your uniquely you home, including sinks, tubs, faucets, custom showers, indoor and outdoor lighting, chandeliers, mirrors, hardware, and more. Make your house a great house. Learn more at greathousefixtures.com, located on 0th Street in Fort Smith. Great House Fixtures by J&B Supply.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. You know, changing your oil with a full synthetic oil like Valvoline Advanced can help your engine get more miles. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP Extended Life Oil Filter for only $38.99. Go farther with better fuel efficiency. Get the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Clay Henry, too. Hey, guys, I've got a $25 gift card to Alumni Hall to whomever can name that hog. Alumni Hall is your place where you can get the ultimate Razorback shopping experience. They have the best and largest selection of apparel for the entire family. Nike, Nike Golf, Columbia, Champion, all the gifts, accessories that you need for tailgating, and all that you need for your students in their dorm room, or if you just got a man cave or a she shed that you need to deck out with all Razorback stuff. Plus, Arkansas students, alumni, and military receive a 10% discount in store. And with the Hall Pass rewards at Alumni Hall, you can earn cash back. Alumni Hall, North College Avenue, right next to Whole Foods, or anytime at alumnihall.com. You can check them out right there in Fayetteville. All right, name that hog. In order to do it, we do it through the text line, 877-377-6963. This former Razorback is from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. I'm not sure if that'll give it away immediately. He is from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. He wore number 45, which really doesn't help out all that much because you get number 40. 45, is that that's not a too popular of a football number, is it?
No, I don't remember too many 45s.
Yeah. I mean, you can get, 45 means you could be a basketball player.
Was John Riggins 45? Michael Jordan's what I think of 45, 23 and 45. I always go back, that was his other number, yeah.
Yeah, he wore number 45, and this is a little bit of a plug for what he does for a living now. Most popular when it's hot or cold. So think about who would you call when it's too hot or it's too cold? Michael in Bonanza texting in, no, Jerry Franklin is not the correct answer.
I think he was 44.
You're right, Clay.
looks like we do have the right answer. Somebody just texted it in. It is not Felix Jones, but we did get a correct answer out of the 479, and it must be a baseball fan. This is a former Razorback baseball player who is the all-time leader in innings pitched for Arkansas baseball. He pitched 383 and 1/3 innings from 2003 through 2006.
Don't want to shortchange on that 1/3 of an inning.
No, of course not. That was a really important out. It was the last out he ever got.
Could have been 20 pitches, yeah.
He is second on the single-season starts list with 19, behind DJ Baxendale, tied with Connor Nolan, Blaine Knight, and Clint Brannon. And never seen to tire. Literally threw hundreds of pitches against Wichita State in the 2004 regional, and that turned him into a folk hero here in Arkansas. And Ryan has texted us in. He is correct. Charlie Boyce is that hog today.
Went to school with both of them, Phil, Clint Brannon, and Charlie. They were up there at the same time I was up there.
Yeah,
both
Charlie's a good dude.
Both of them are good dudes, man.
Yeah, I mean, you say, I need you, and he said, give me the ball, coach.
Great player. Great player.
How much do you need me for? Would be the next question.
A third.
I'll give you what I got, and it might be even more than I think I got.
Yep. He threw strikes. He had a lot of strikeouts. I mean, I believe it was pitched twice against Wichita State, in that regional. Gene Stevenson kind of, mocked Dave Van Horn for throwing him too many innings, and Charlie's like, I ain't going to the big league. Don't save my arm, right? It just keep on throwing it.
Yeah, and he was held.
He has been really successful in business. Pascal Heat and Air, that was my clue.
Well, they sponsor all of the any video that you see on the Hit That Line YouTube page.
They do.
All the press conferences. Yeah, and basically when you start our shows, if you watch it on YouTube, the first thing you'll see is the Pascal Heating and Air ad with Chuck voicing it. So yeah, they've had a connection to the station for I think it's been a couple of years now. Pascal Heating and Air, and I think it's mostly, if not all, former Razorbacks, if not just former ball players, baseball players.
Their sales staff is, Nick Smith is there. Does Clint work with him too? Maybe he does. Clint Brannon?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't kept up with anybody since college, but me and Clint hung out a couple times when I was up there. I always liked Clint.
Yeah, he's one of those lefty guys.
Yeah, but he's just cool, man. He's just okay, yeah.
Man, I'm looking at Charlie Boyce's junior season here on the Baseball Cube website. That's a good website if you're looking for college baseball statistics. And he pitched in 29 games in 2005. That was one of the earlier Dave Van Horn teams. And out of those 29 games, he had the decision in 21 of them. 11-10 record. He had 10 wins the year before. Man, so it really seems like, the way Charlie Boyce kind of helped decide a little bit how his own record would finish. You know that not all starters, not all pitchers are like that. But no doubt about it with Charlie Boyce, his record.
Well, that's because he would go deep in games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you knew he was going to keep you in the game. They might, but you didn't pull him.
Did he have that Madison Bumgarner?
Save your bullpen.
Did he have that Madison Bumgarner quality? I'm not saying he was that talented, but you know how when he was out there, you knew he was going to go an extra inning.
Oh well, he just battled.
Yeah, he was going to battle you. No question.
Competitor would battle. I mean, it's just like teammates liked him. He was ready to pitch. Defense liked him.
And that 2004 team, like that's the first team that Dave took to Omaha from Arkansas. Of course, he'd taken Nebraska there, a couple years, and then takes the Razorback job, and it took a couple of years, but it felt like that was a bit of a surprise season. They did.
I tell you, a guy that was really valuable was Jay Sawatsky on that team.
Mm-hmm.
Jay, lefty pitcher. He'd save a game on Friday night, and if he didn't throw too many innings, he'd start on Sunday. You'd get him, twice. And I don't know what his record was, but I don't think he lost too many games. And got, it saves and wins.
Blake Parker was on that team. Parker I think he signed with a major league organization last year. I'm not sure if he pitched in the majors. He was a catcher for that team.
He was a catcher.
And hit just enough. Craig Gentry was on that team. Gentry had a pretty good major league career in the outfield. Clay Goodwin played corner infield for that team too, and Clay is one of the rocks that the program is built upon as the longtime director of operations. And there is Brady Toops, Scott Hody on the team. Man, I mean, he was talking about some of the great names in program history there in 2004. But Charlie Boyce, I mean, they wouldn't have gotten Omaha without him that season.
So there's probably 30 to 50,000 people that think they saw Brady Toops' home run against Wichita State, because everybody says they were there. I mean, everybody I run into is like, man, not everybody could have been there.
All those people were also at the Pine Bluff Convention Center. Yeah, the same people were at the game where Arkansas beat Michael Jordan's North Carolina team. 50,000 of them or something like that, right?
It's only 8,000 in that arena, yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Our winner again is Ryan. Congratulations, Ryan. $25 gift card to Alumni Hall in Fayetteville. Make sure that you tell them that we sent you. And they'll have, I'll communicate with you over the text line, Ryan, so we don't have to worry about that. All right.
I always like to celebrate Charlie Boyce.
Well, we just did. And it was well done because Clay's the one who gave me our Name That Hog today. So you knew exactly what you were doing, Clay, as always. All right, we're going to wrap up hour number 2 of halftime after this.
If I should call you up, invest a dime, and you say you belong to me, and ease my mind, imagine how the world could be so very fine, so happy together. I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life. When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue for all my life. Me and you.
Make today more interesting with Betly's online sports betting action. You can bet on pro and college games with Betly, the only online sports book in Arkansas and Tennessee. And right now, every new customer can cash in on a $250 risk-free first bet. Download the Betly Sportsbook app now in the Apple and Google Play Store or visit Betly.com. With Betly, every game matters.
Must be 21 or older and located in Arkansas or Tennessee to bet. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Thank you from Art's Barbecue and Burgers for a successful year. Art's Barbecue and Burgers wants to shout out our amazing community of customers that we are grateful and thankful for, each and every one of you. Art's Barbecue and Burgers wants to continue to enjoy our best barbecue, burgers, all-you-can-eat catfish every Friday night, and of course, the great sides and desserts. Art's Barbecue and Burgers wishing everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Art's Barbecue and Burgers on Rogers, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
This year, we considered hiring an ad agency to help with our marketing.
They pitched impressive visuals and a script that was inspiring.
And exotic animal mascots to help grab your attention.
In the end, we just decided to tell it to you straight. Shelter Insurance has award-winning customer service at affordable rates.
Plus, our local agents are there to help you understand what coverage you need.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Brad Howell in Van Buren.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience, specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
Peace of mind in buying a quality and well-maintained vehicle is top priority at Carco Auto Sales. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley and eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and offers a variety of late model, low mileage vehicles at unbeatable values. Come see the team at 2810 Midland Boulevard today or give them a call at 783-1722. You can check them out online at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales. When you're ready.
Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company has 2 locations, 1316 South Zero and 200 South Zero Street in Fort Smith, serving the glass and glazing needs of Fort Smith, Northwest Arkansas, and Eastern Oklahoma, commercial and residential. Tub and shower enclosures, mirrors, glass table, and countertops cut to custom size are just a few services offered by Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company. Arkansas Glass and Mirror stocks laminate glass, plexiglass, Lexan, window glass, and mirror and plate glass. For more information, call 646-4300. That's 646-4300.
Searching for a promising career change? Looking for an established company that pays competitively and values its team members? Then come be a part of the Beckert family. Beckert and Van Buren has immediate openings for production operators paying up to $29 an hour. Sundays are paid at time and a half, and night shift work has an added premium of $1 per hour. Applications are available 24/7 at Beckert, located off I-40 at Exit 3. Apply today.
Gray Steel Structures Incorporated is a family-owned business based in Greenwood specializing in steel structures. Owner Will Gray has 20 years experience doing the job right and making sure you're satisfied with the structure you have a need for. Gray Steel Structures serves both commercial and residential customers. Whatever your need may be, mini storage, RV storage, home workshop, or any metal building need, make Gray Steel Structures your first call. Gray Steel Structures, 252-2783. That's 252-2783.
GraySteelStructuresInc.com. That's Gray with an A.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Way down in Louisiana, amongst a tall grown sugar cane, lived a simple man and a Dominican hen and a rose of a different name. Yeah, the first time I felt lying, I was standing in a drizzling rain with a trembling hand and a bottle of gin and a rose of a different name. Yeah, the devil made me do it the first time. Second time I done it on my own. Lord put a hand on this simple-headed man, help me leave that black robe alone.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Well, guys, today is a banner day in sports history. We usually do like the This Day in Sports History thing, but this one hits close to home for me, even though I was not alive when it happened. Today, in 1975, the Pittsburgh Steelers won their first Super Bowl of the 6 that they now have, beating Minnesota 16-6 in Super Bowl 9. That game was played in, Clay, do you remember where that game was played?
I do not.
Is that a Terry Bradshaw team, Phil?
That was a Terry Bradshaw team, that's right. And that game was played in New Orleans at Tulane Stadium. It was the last professional football game played at Tulane Stadium. It was supposed to be hosted by the Superdome, which was still under construction, but they had some construction delays, so they had to play that Super Bowl in Tulane Stadium instead. Steelers, of course, won 4 Super Bowls in 6 years. That was the first. That was also Minnesota's 3rd Super Bowl loss. They've never won. They've lost 4 of them. Franco was the game MVP. Minnesota gained 119 total yards, 5 turnovers. And do we know who the halftime show is in the Super Bowl this year?
All I know is I'd like to see that Minnesota team play that Buffalo Bills team, so one of them can win a Super Bowl and we can get.
I could get with that. I really could. 2 teams that have had their hearts ripped out. It's been a minute, though, since Minnesota made it to the Super Bowl.
It's Rihanna.
Bills have a chance this year. It's Rihanna.
Rihanna.
Yeah, I'm glad it's a real person. I hate it when they have something like, okay, the Super Bowl act is The Weeknd. Well, who is The Weeknd?
He's a real person. He has a name.
It's actually one guy.
You can't. Your name can't.
Which one of
you can't be The Weeknd?
You can't have a plural name when you're just one guy.
I mean, yeah.
What's
it's
plural
like
about the weekend? That's
because it's more than one day. The weekend,
yeah, but it's one weekend. It's just one. It's one piece of a weekend. Well, we can argue over that.
So then
the
he's a
cows come
person
home.
made up of several days.
Yes, that's right. It's still singular.
It's still ridiculous.
The halftime show of that Super Bowl in 1975 was called Tribute to Duke Ellington. And Duke's son, Mercer Ellington, played along with the Grambling State Band. So, I mean, that is about as far from anything that today's Super Bowl halftime show looks like.
Is Michael Jackson, we all remember that Super Bowl halftime. Is that when it started? Like when he's coming up out of the Pepsi can, popping out and doing that? When did it get where it was a thing, where that Super Bowl show it was much watched TV? It was the 80s or was it the 90s? 'Cause I think that was like 91, 92 when Michael Jackson did that, but I don't remember it being that big before then.
No, it wasn't. I don't think so. I got to tell you my Terry Bradshaw story, though. It's you guys will like this. 89 Cotton Bowl. They may still do this, but it used to be a thing. They had a grand New Year's Eve ball, and you had to rent a tux. My wife got a formal dress, and we went. And they had a big band. It was wonderful, and that's one of the reasons why when people ask people in the media at Arkansas, what's cool about the Cotton Bowl? Well, it's a million things why you want to go to the Cotton Bowl, but that was one of them. And Fox did the games, and Bradshaw was there, Terry Bradshaw, and my wife is like, I'm going to go get my picture made with Terry Bradshaw. I said, don't go over there. Don't do that. And she did, and he got up, and I mean, it was the coolest thing. He was wonderful to my wife. And that will never be forgotten in my family. Terry Bradshaw is a hero. I mean, I'm sure they don't like.
And he does his own stunts
like
for the movies. Like we've all seen Failure to Launch, when the scene that he's done.
But have you heard his country?
Yeah, we've
albums?
discussed his amazing. Was Phil? Were you gone that day? And I played a little bit of his.
No, I think you showed me the cover. Because he looked like the George Strait.
Yeah, he sounds very authentic.
What's the George Strait's guy's
Pure
name?
Country.
Pure
yeah.
Country with I forget
Dusty. Was that his name in the movie? Dusty's. Something.
Clay, you're supposed to know that one.
I do know it. I just didn't want to interrupt anybody.
Clay knows all the country music, the good stuff and the crappy stuff, which I think might have been Terry's.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson's book, Swagger, he talks about a few times stopping. He flies from the Keys on his private plane to, the Fox studios in L.A., and he's like, pick up Terry in Oklahoma. And he did, and Terry was a little late. He got on to him. And the next time Terry had a pillow, was laying on the tarmac when he landed.
Terry seems like you'd want to go have a beer with him.
Oh, he's a cool, no doubt.
Yeah, he seems like a cool cat.
Or go to a New Year's Eve ball.
Just hang with him, yeah.
Well, they still love him in the Berg. A beer and a shot kind of a
I
town
bet they do.
Sure. And in today, 1975, Black and Gold won their first ever Super Bowl. Into the third hour of halftime, 877-377-6963 to be a part of the show. We'll come right back.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. If you're going to do some cold water bass fishing, you need to be using a Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. It's the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad and can be worked from the top of the water column to the bottom. Whether you're trying to win a bass tournament or whoop up on a bunch of white bass and stripers, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. will catch them. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind everyone to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I'd also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify.
The homestead tax credit can save you up to $375 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor.
The cold and flu seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely care for you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all the over-the-counter cold and flu remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointments for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Franco Furniture
Furniture is your family-owned furniture, appliance, and electronics store. We have been servicing the area for 38 years with quality products and service after the sale. Frank Rowe Furniture offers a no-pressure sales atmosphere where you can actually enjoy shopping for your furniture. We also offer in-store, no-credit check financing. Don't wait weeks to be able to take your furniture you purchase home. Stop by and we will load you up today. Family-owned, service after the sale, and no-credit check financing. Frank Rowe Furniture, 405 4th Street, Marlin, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, Tin Layer Dip, Brisket Nachos, and Mexican Pizza. And ask about Joe's Tailgate Packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Morning clouds clearing to sunshine this afternoon. Our high temperatures today much cooler. Upper 40s north. Will be in the low 50s further south. Expecting a partly cloudy sky tonight. A much colder go of it. Mid to upper 20s. And then Friday, bounty of sunshine. Low 40s north. Upper 40s south. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today.
Radio station.
KERX, Paris, Fort Smith, from the Bushlight Studios. This is ESPN 95.3.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart up. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones. Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! 1, 2, 3! Turn that back, your
Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
And into the third hour of halftime on an overcast Thursday. It was snowing up by Harrison earlier today. Clay, did you get any of the white stuff up by you in the North Fork River?
If we did, I didn't notice. I've kind of had my head down all day. I'm working on this Bubba Carpenter story feature. And
it would make me keep my head down too.
Yeah, I mean it's a fun story. The interview with him was just fantastic. You can't spend a better afternoon than sitting talking baseball with Bubba.
So when are you hoping to have this thing ready for publication?
Well, it'll be in the Hogs Illustrated, their baseball preview, which Matt Jones is working on now, and I just do the Where Are They Now stories, and that's the fun stuff. Get to talk to the legends, and Bubba is a legend. The stories were just so rich, including stuff like, they didn't have a bathroom at George Cofield.
I know, I've heard this one.
Can I tell it?
Sure, please do. Yeah, we love bathroom stories, especially when they don't involve a real bathroom.
They had a shed down at one end of beyond the bleachers, and players would run out of the dugout and go down there, and they'd go in the shed, and they had a cup, and it was a Texas Longhorn cup.
Yes, it was.
Sure, it was, right?
That was the shared cup for everybody. I wonder what they would put on the side of that cup now. Now that there are real bathrooms in the dugouts at a real baseball park that doesn't have oil bubbling up through the artificial surface. 36 days until the first Razorback baseball game
in Texas.
The 2023 season, and it is against Texas. That's right, in Texas, in Arlington.
He did have a good little snippet about love for a Longhorn. And you don't get that very much from anybody, Razorback. His first home run in the big leagues, he hit 3, was into the bullpen at Shea Stadium, and a relief pitcher out there caught it. Dennis Cook brought it to the clubhouse after the game and presented it to Bubba, his first home run ball, which he then, presented to his dad. He goes, he's a University of Texas pitcher. Knew I played at Arkansas, and he brought me that ball.
Bubba sometimes will say that there's all sorts of things, a lot of crap that comes from Texas, but then he'll have to remind everybody that his wife is from Houston, and so he's got to take a little bit of a different approach to that than before this marriage. All right, so I still have one thing I know and one thing I don't know for this upcoming baseball season. And I'll go with the thing that I know right now. I don't know if the road schedule can be any tougher than what they've got. And every other year, you're going to be playing at Ole Miss, at LSU, and at Mississippi State. And that's the year. This is what they've got on the schedule this year. The schedule eventually is going to have to change once you add Oklahoma and Texas in, because it'd be a pretty unwieldy league. 16 teams, 8 divisions. I don't know how that all work out, but it's not the lay of the land just yet. Hogs go to Ole Miss, defending national champion, LSU, preseason number 1, Vanderbilt to wrap up the regular season. They're ranked 11th. Mississippi State, which is always a tough place to go win, but Arkansas has had some success there in recent years. Mississippi State's unranked. Remember, they missed the tournament last year as the defending national champions. And Arkansas also plays at Georgia this next season, which isn't the easiest place to win, but I don't know how good Georgia's going to be this year. So that's a thing that I feel like
Georgia should always be good.
Well, yes. They should be good in everything, right? I mean, there's enough athletes in and around Atlanta or just in the state alone in every sport that Georgia should be good. And they've been decent in baseball. I don't think they've been as good as people think they should be. I don't know what kind of an offensive club it's going to be, and that's really just because I haven't seen them enough, and I know you're going to get, I think you'll get production from the returners, from Peyton Stovall and from Brady Slavens. And, it's like I'm projecting a little in my mind of how good a Jace Borfin could be if, when he's given that opportunity to start, if he takes it and runs with it with that beautiful swing. It's the same thing about Kendall Diggs. Just because he had some moments as a freshman and displayed an idea of the strike zone and a powerful bat at times, that doesn't necessarily mean that on a day-by-day basis, on an every-game basis, that he'll be able to do that. So I'm not quite sure. We have this track record of Arkansas, being a, hit 'em high, hit 'em hard sort of a team. I wonder if they'll have to change the approach a little bit as far as that's concerned, because I think speed is one aspect that this team can have. I also expect the walk totals to be down from the pitching staff, because they set a record last year with 674 strikeouts. That's over 10 per 9 innings. But they also walked almost 4.5 batters per 9 innings. And a lot of those coming from younger pitchers like a Jackson Wiggins, Hagen Smith at times. I think that those walk totals will be down this year. I don't expect them to give as many free passes.
Yeah, Tiger walked some too.
Yes, and Tiger too. And I think
when the bases loaded and didn't get 3 straight outs.
Yes. Well, hopefully we don't have too many of those opportunities for something like that to happen. Sterling's giving us a call here. Sterling, I saw something about your Cardinals today that Matt Holliday has quit as the bench coach, and they have hired Joe McEwing to bring back a name from years back. He'd been in the White Sox system for 15 years, so a change there for Oliver Marmol as far as his top lieutenant is concerned. But I don't know if that's why you called. I just know you like the Cardinals. What's going on?
Nothing much. Phil and Matt and the Hall of Famer. And I'm glad you told me about the news about the Cardinals. I like old Joe. He's a good baseball man. I always thought Holliday belonged at Stillwater in a way. So maybe he'll go back there. But guys, last night's game, I'll touch on that before we go back to baseball. I just didn't like the tone of the press conference. It sounded a little bit defeated, and to be totally honest, he hurt my confidence. I guess that's why I didn't like it. I know it's not about me, but usually, we believe in Musselman. He went to the Final Eight after struggling the last 2 years. I was expecting to hear more like we're gonna get it fixed. We did this well, we did this not so well, but we're gonna work on it. And I don't want to hear the "oh, it's me" about not having Nick Smith in Brazil. I mean, come on. I mean, if you built your whole team around two people, the whole thing around two people, that's your fault, then. I mean, that's your fault. I mean, you have other 5 stars, 2 other 5 stars, which I don't think other teams have. You have a 6th man of the year that's better than I thought it was, at least. I mean, you still got enough to do some damage. And I thought, all in all, you playing one of the best teams in the country, and you struggling shooting, that they did fairly well, considering their shortcomings. So I didn't like he sounded more defeated than I was after the game. I took it as we lost to a good team that was right there, that we had that stretch where they hit those 3 straight threes that got the game out of hand. After his press conference, I was depressed. And
I understand what you're saying too, there, Sterling. Here's one of the things that might have depressed you when you hear Eric Musselman in the press conference last night.
Talk about the last 2 years. We are in a completely and utterly different state, in a way more uphill battle than we've been since I've been here, to be quite honest.
So, I mean, that's all of us have talked about for this last week. Look at the track record of the last couple of years. I brought that up too. Muss is saying, and we know this when you're watching this team, it's a different situation. It's much different. I don't know if I'm hearing Muss sound defeated. What I'm hearing is I think he's being honest about this, is that they've got to find a different way to win a game. And I just think they're going to have to grind him down.
Is he taking responsibility? Because it's his fault now. I mean, he's got time to get his players in. It all starts with the coach on this. So I don't know if he's doing, because he's got to bring in some shooters.
Yeah, here's the thing about Eric Musselman press conferences. If they lose, he is depressed. He is frustrated. He's depressed.
Worst day ever.
Fortunately, there's not a lot of those, over the last, 3.5 years. But if you want to go find a press conference after a loss and you watch it, it's going to leave you feeling exactly the way you did after you watched that one last night. They're almost all the same. He is miserable. He hates losing. He's not happy when he goes home. It's not any fun, Clay. It ain't fun to lose. He stays in the pool house. They leave food out there for him. They don't want to be around him. I'm talking about his wife and daughter. I mean, that's him. And losing should never be fun. And it's different this year, but every loss you want to find. And if you go back to the period when they had Justin Smith injured and they were losing, boy, he was frustrated. He's like, I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know this. It's the same thing, but I get it. That's not probably what you wanted to hear. Now, what he says to his players might be totally different. I've heard players, and I've been in locker rooms where coaches, they were different than they are in a press conference. He's not really good in a losing press conference. He's just not.
Well, go ahead, Sterling. Sorry.
Oh no problem. My final thing is about this baseball team. Am I overconfident about this baseball team? I got this baseball pitching staff as one of the best in the country. Am I off on that or not? And y'all guys have a great day.
No, I don't. I think as far as the pitching staff's concerned, yes, this does appear to be one of the more talented pitching staffs in the nation. And I do think you can – I expect that you can count on good pitching throughout most of the season. I just don't know what the lineup's going to look like, and a chunk of that is because you need guys who really didn't who didn't play on a day-by-day basis last year. You need them to step into some roles. And the reason Diggs was given an opportunity, I think. I know it's too much to ask sometimes for a freshman to be consistent in college baseball. That's tough to do. Jace Borfin, same thing. I think Diggs and Borfin, I feel like the team needs them to produce at the plate. And then there's other, guys, veterans that have been around a little bit. Like this transfer out of Creighton, the outfielder that they got to sign, Jared Wegner. And a couple of the catchers that have played at other spots, and Josenberger coming from Kansas. And he didn't have big numbers at Kansas. Maybe there's a bit of an uptick offensively for him. I just don't know what sort of an offensive club you're going to have. Track record shows they hit a lot of home runs. They score enough runs to win games. Might leave some guys on base in some clutch moments every once in a while. But, hey, they were number 3 in the country to finish the season last year. And that's because – for the most part, they were a fairly complete overall team compared to the rest of college baseball. Right now, I think they're stronger on the pitching side. And that's only because I haven't seen enough of the batters and enough with my eyes as far as the hitters are concerned to get a sense of how good offensively this team's going to be. Sterling, it's good to hear from you, and we appreciate your phone call. 877-377-6963 to get with us. Clay, is he right? Are we right about that? I mean, I think you can count on the pitching staff to start the season. We'll see how things go. Injuries, and not everybody always, performs to the level of expectations. And maybe I can look at that on the opposite side from the lineup. I don't know what to expect out of them. Maybe they'll give us a little bit more than you might expect.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think that the pitching, everybody expects Jackson Wiggins to be at a different level, just based on what he did, the changes that he made, his ability to locate his fastball and his breaking ball and throw strikes and hit spots. I think that what everybody says, he's always been a thrower, not a pitcher. And it seems like he now understands how to be a pitcher. And there's some times when they put him out there last year that I was like, I wasn't real confident. But a lot of what he went through is going to benefit him this year, I think.
All right, we'll break in a moment. Brought to you by Crabtree RV Center in Alma, the dealership that's been serving the River Valley in North.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran.
Vicious. You hit me with a flower.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Give them a call or send them a text at 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
I do think this team is playing hard, but we're offensively challenged. That's a fact. That's not an opinion. And there'd be a lot of other teams offensively challenged too if two players that you built your roster around aren't here.
It's something that Sterling alluded to earlier. You throw the word excuse, you throw the word reasons in there sometimes. Lack of shooting for this day. They were not built, expected to be a team that struggled to shoot the ball from the outside. But there is truth to what Muss is saying. I don't think you brought in Anthony Black expecting that he's going to be a guy that's going to shoot a lot from the outside. He's a distributor. He gets to the rack. He defends. Jordan Walsh, as much as I keep hearing about Jordan's got nice, mechanics on his shot and all of that, we haven't seen it go in yet. I feel like he was brought in to do a little bit more of the hustling, defending, getting to the rim too. And understand, five-star basketball players are five-star basketball players. Maybe you expect them always to be able to shoot the three. It's not this team's strength right now, and we want to, point blame and everything. I don't know, blame right now is the way to go at it because there's a lot of time left in this basketball season, and you played some good teams of late. But when you hear Eric Musselman, talk about the struggles for this team and how they're different from the past couple of years, like what could change? What could have changed? When you lose these two guys, like I don't know if we expected that they would be 19% from deep and struggle to hit 60 points on the road. But I can understand, what it is that he's saying. This is not the last couple of years. You didn't have all the injuries that you got right now, especially from two guys that were expected to contribute as much as they were. And we do, maybe Nick Smith comes back. We know Trevin doesn't play for the rest of the season. But I just can't expect, whenever Nick does return, if that happens, and his father apparently told 103.7 in Little Rock that he would return, but it's not going to happen this month. I don't know what the solution to this is, because I don't think it was a team that was built to grind and win games defensively. I think they were built to play good defense, but get out and run and score in multiple ways. But you got to find a way to, cover up the lack of shooting, which is tough to do in this sport these days.
Yeah, to Coach Muss's point, those are the two best players that you were going to run offensive plays for, as far as Trevion Brazile and Nick Smith. And you look at this starting lineup last night, Clay and Phil, there's one offensive player that you would run a play for, and it's Anthony Black, the distributor. Devo had a nice offensive game, but you don't run a lot of plays for him. Jordan Walsh, you don't run a lot of plays for him either. So Graham's going to have to insert himself. This is, man, if you're Graham right now, this is the time you should be thinking, man, I'm going to be the first one in the gym. I'm going to be the last one to leave. I'm going to put my work in and put my time in, because this is an opportunity, bro. This is an opportunity for you to get in there and go play. And you're talented enough on the offensive end to average 14 a game for the rest of in conference play. There's no doubt about it. So figure it out a little bit and get on the floor.
This is a day and time when you need three-point shooters. A game is so much about that. And I think Musselman's always had three-point shooters. I mean, he had Isaiah Joe, Mason Jones. I mean, it's they could shoot the three last year.
Did he recruit those guys, or were they here when he got here?
They were here,
yeah.
but they're still. I think they thought Brazile and Nick Smith pretty good three-point shooters.
Well, and I take it this way too. Like, so when you're on a football team and your starting quarterback goes down, man, you're just trying to figure it out to try to get some wins, and that's kind of like what we had. We've had we saw this Razorback football team when our starting quarterback went out. You got Nick, you got your two best players that you're running the whole offense around. They go out, you kind of patchwork and got to figure it out.
Yep, that's where they're at, and it's not much fun. And when you lose, one of your studs, and you lose two of them, just kind of go back to, I don't know if I said this I've done an hour of radio this morning from 8 to 9. What I've said this morning, what I've said this afternoon, I'm not sure. So if I repeat this, I'm not. But just think if Alabama lost Brandon Miller and Noah Clowney, where they'd be right now. Those are their two. Those are really good players. And that's where Musselman is, and it's his job to figure it out. And he knows that.
Well, you can only operate with who's healthy and who's available to you. So it's why I was intrigued with by starting Mikal Mitchell, but he's limited offensively. He's a guy that can play some defense, can rebound for you. I'm not sure what he can give you on the offensive side. Jalen Graham is like the opposite. He's the total opposite. He looks like he's a walking bucket. But he would have been on the court more often if he was defending and rebounds to I think what you'd expect out of a forward. And Joseph Pinion, like, he had that flash in the pan against Missouri, so it makes us think like, all right, let's get Joseph in there because you need the three-point shooter. He got half a minute yesterday and looked a little silly defensively when he kind of tripped I forget the Alabama guard that just was about to blow right past him. So against a team with that kind of speed, there's something that each of these guys can add, but it's also, they might be deficient in another area that might be just as important.
There's going to be some games where Joseph can play. And Missouri was one of them. They, one of their main cogs was a little bit stiff. He wasn't a fluid athlete, and you could put Joseph on him, and that was going to work. And there'll be some other games like that. Alabama is just they're elite, and they're deep, and let's just be honest. That's likely to be a Final Four team.
And they don't play selfish either. And you made the point earlier, Clay, about how Miller didn't take a shot in the first half, and it's because of how deep they are and how talented they are, and they don't just necessarily have one guy. I mean, Sears had the most shots, but you look at it, they're all kind of spread out even.
Yeah, they were, and they do a lot of things well.
Yeah, they play smart basketball. They did,
and they're good defensively too. Block shots, and that is what discombobulated the Arkansas offense more than anything. Is they could get to the lane, but when they did, there were two guys there that both were 7 foot, 6'10", and they're like, we put the
you would
the
think
Mitchells,
Anthony Black
we
would
put
have a
these
little
up,
floater.
we're going to get it blocked.
It seems like Devo might have a little, but like you would have a little floater in the repertoire. You can go to when you got to and I love the fact that they go to the rim aggressive, Clay. I'm not saying that, but when you do have a taller guy like that, man, you saw Graham hit a floater. It looked like he was kind of in between his shots, like a jumpers, and he kind of jumped from the free throw line and threw that floater up there. But
that had the mid-range shot.
Yeah, that floater's such a great shot when you have those bigs inside like that.
Guys, some of the numbers that stand out over the 3 games Arkansas has lost in the SEC, there's a huge differential in scoring off of turnovers. Opponents 52 points, Arkansas 17. And the 3-point differential is just a thing. It is. 39-point differential in those 3 losses. It's over 10 points per game that opponents are scoring more than Arkansas does on 3-point shooting. In these losses, Arkansas is 8 for 51. Opponents are 20 for 58. So, I mean, free throws, there's a little bit of a discrepancy. Arkansas has a little less of a 2-point shooting percentage, but nothing anywhere near the discrepancy in what the opponents are doing in scoring off turnovers and what opponents are doing shooting from the 3-point line, which also speaks to Arkansas needs to defend the 3 a little bit better. 20 out of 58, not bad for opponents. 8 out of 51 for Arkansas, abysmal. Now, you can improve upon that. I just don't know how much they'll improve upon that.
Well, so the way to get there isn't one thing. It's defend the 3 a little better. Might shoot a little better from the 3. I'm not sure. Their teams are not going to play as good a defense as Auburn and Alabama. You get a few more turnovers, a few more transition points. That helps your offense a little bit. And you get a few more stops. All that together, and then the last thing is you don't want to play Alabama one more time.
Yeah, and hopefully by then, that's near the end of the regular season.
Tennessee still looms pretty large. I'll admit that.
All right, let's break. 877-377-6963 to get with us here on halftime. We're into the home stretch, and we'll come right back after a quick break. We are brought to you by CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. Best burger, best French fries, and best shakes anywhere in the state of Arkansas. You find them in Russellville at the Arkansas Avenue location and in Fayetteville just west off the exit at Weddington. And CJ's Butcher Boy Burger is also online at butcherboyburger.com. They've got an app that you can download, and you can order from the Fayetteville location as well. I always like to get bacon, pepper jack cheese, fry sauce on mine. I'll throw on the lettuce, tomato, and maybe the fresh onions, depending on if I'm meeting up with anybody later on that night. CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best. All right, we'll wrap.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for all.
In a white room with black curtains near the station. Black roof country, no gold pavement, tired starlings. Silver horses ran down moonbeams in your dark eyes. Dawnlight smile on you, leaving my contentment. I'll wait in this place where the sun never shines. Wait in this place where the shadows run from themselves.
Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
This is great. Clay Henry just sent us, and this is the human Clay Henry, just sent us this picture Apparently is in a town called Lajitas, Texas. A beer-drinking goat, which is not the headline of this story here. There's some animals drink beer, right? I know dogs that drink beer, bears. I've even seen a cat try it. I'm not sure if he or she liked it very much. The headline of the story is the name of the goat. Clay is not the only Clay Henry in the world, apparently. I'm assuming there are other human beings named Clay Henry, because there's already other Matt Jones we know of. I know of a few other Phil Elsons.
Clay Henry is the GOAT.
Matt Travis, you're not the only one out there. There's no doubt about that. Clay Henry, though, there's a GOAT named Clay Henry, and he's not just the GOAT that Matt Jones just referred to. It's a real GOAT. And one that drinks beer? What a cool little thing you got going on here, Clay.
Tom Murphy just sent me the picture. His sister was there on vacation last week and sent him. Well, Tom actually was there 2 years ago, and he sent me a T-shirt from there, from the Outpost. It's a trading post.
How do we make that goat into cheese? If he's drinking beer all the time and get that goat cheese going on for your salad.
Hey, beer cheese works, man.
Right?
It really does. Where is Lajitas, Texas?
It's in the Big Bend country of
okay.
Texas, way down there.
Yeah,
Long
that is way
ways
down
from
there.
here.
Pretty close to Big Bend State Park, where there must be other beer-drinking goats. So what do we have to do to get a beer-drinking contest between you and the four-legged Clay Henry?
Yeah, do they have a record going on there? What's the setting that goat does?
Like, Clay, you can't lose to a goat.
No, come on, Clay.
In that or anything, unless it's I don't know, eating people's sweaters. The goat can beat you at that. Not the beer. I don't know about you and beer drinking though. I can chug if I need to.
That's not my forte.
That's not your thing. It's the goat's thing. Well, you've got a competitor out there. You know of any? I mean, we know there's a Matt Jones. We've already referred to him today, Clay.
Clay works with him
at Whole Hog Sports. That's right.
We've
had him on the show before.
There's a golfer from Australia named Matt Jones. There was a little point guard at Duke not too long ago that was named Matt Jones. Yeah, it's like the Kevin Johnsons back in the '90s. You know, a lot of KJs.
So I know there's a Phil Elson somewhere in Arizona who is a coder. There is a Phil Elson in the United Kingdom that used to race funny race cars.
Oh, nice.
And there's a ceramic potter, artist in Australia that shares my name. Do we know of any other Matt Travises?
Oh, there's a ton of them. Actually, like maybe 10 years ago or so, I went and friended a bunch of Matt Travises on Facebook, and I'm still friends with a bunch.
You have conversations with them. Hey, Matt, how are you,
I
Matt?
do, yeah.
Nice to see you, Matt.
Sometimes I'll wish myself a happy birthday, and I'll wish myself a happy birthday also. So one of them, there's a Matt Travis that works for the Department of Homeland Security. There was a wrestler a couple of years ago that died named Matt Travis because people were sending me well wishes that I had passed away on Twitter.
And there's a great golf company called Travis
Matthew, right?
Yeah,
I saw the commercial. Yeah,
great golf apparel.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Clay, there has to be another human out there that's got your real name. Otherwise,
there is. There's the guy that was the Subway modeled, like Clay Henry got real big on burgers and fries. Now I'm down to a smaller size.
Because everybody knows eating a meatball sub is how you lose weight.
That's the way you go. The part of any good diet is to eat an entire loaf of bread every day.
As long as it has seeds, you're okay.
Yeah. My dad called me one time singing that little jingle. I was like, Dad.
That's funny.
Yeah.
As JR in Peel, as Texas says, Muss has figured it out the past 2 years. Hard to doubt he won't do the same thing this year. And I understand that.
I believe, Clay. Do you, Phil, Clay, are you a believer right now still? I still believe in him that they're going to figure it out.
I think let's just put it this way. He'll do the best with what he's got. And he's been through this with, in the developmental league, in the NBA.
I mean, I want him to be our coach next year, too, is what I'm saying. I think he's going to figure it out this year. And even if he doesn't, I still hope that he's still here because I believe in him that he can win a national title at the University of Arkansas.
Yeah, and it things change so dramatically from one year to the next in college basketball. All those guys you saw for Alabama last night, they're playing in another league next year.
Look at Missouri. Their whole team. They're gone. Missouri's whole starting five, they had one. The other four, they weren't there last year. LSU, the same thing.
Yeah, and again, we don't know what February will hold. We know January has been a historical bad month for Arkansas basketball under Musselman, but February's been a great month. And, you get Nick Smith back, and it'll give everybody a lift.
The earlier the better for the team's sake.
Oh, yeah.
I understand it's got to happen on his timeline and his representative's timeline, I think might be the right way to put it. Just looking ahead here, Vanderbilt, 1 o'clock on Saturday. I just don't think that's not a you just go in there and win in a walk because Vanderbilt isn't really all that good. I think Vandy can score some points, and I think the Razorbacks are going to have to find a way to get over 70 in that ball game. And then at Mizzou, Mizzou is going to come.
Toughie.
That's a tough one on the road. Right now they have not shown the ability to score enough on the road. And at LSU, look, LSU has not played well since that game. They have not. They've lost 3 in a row. At Auburn, maybe that stands for itself with a 26-game home winning streak. But I don't think LSU is really any great shakes. They haven't shown that since then. So until I see Arkansas win a road game, I'm kind of wondering if they can score over 60.
You got to make some shots on the road.
Early, too, man. If it's a team that needs some confidence, the word demoralizing gets thrown out there when you consistently miss shot after shot and you're trailing. There's a lot. We had people text in earlier, and Matt, you've referred to this too. It's like, they don't look like they're having fun. Well, dozens of missed shots and playing from behind is not a lot of fun.
It's not fun to lose.
Well, and it's
ball
not even
goes
just
in,
the
you
losing.
get energy.
It's the way it happens, right? They trailed for like the entire Auburn game. Arkansas trailed for over 32 and a half minutes yesterday. They weren't making shots at all against LSU, chucking up 25 threes. It's just that's not fun. That's not fun. I don't think it's a matter of like poor team chemistry or that they don't like each other or that they have a problem with the coach. I think it's a chicken or the egg conversation sometimes. What's fun? Making buckets, leading games, feeling good about how you're playing is fun, and then winning is fun. And right now, why are they not having fun? They're not scoring enough. They're trailing too much.
Yeah, it'd be different if they were laughing and goofing around on the sidelines or acting like they're having fun. It's not fun to lose. You always want to win, and I think they'll get it going. And it might be this week. I know that at Missouri game after Vanderbilt's going to be tough, but we'll worry about that when it gets here. But we can get on a little run and win 4 or 5 in a row. I have no doubt about it.
All right, we'll wrap things up here in just a moment. We got time to get with us if you want at 877-377-69. Darby Bybee sent a tweet, says Clay Henry is the GOAT after all. That could be a pretty interesting competition. Anybody else have any named animals that like to chug beers out there? Send us a photo, 877-377-6963. Seen a bear drink beer, seen a dog drink beer, and a cat that didn't like it. Those animals, they kind of tend to stay away from vodka and martinis, though. So I think I've got them beat in that category. They only drink beer. They don't drink the hard stuff. What's wrong with you animals? That's the fun stuff. 5 o'clock somewhere, just not in that goat's pen. All right, we'll come back, wrap things up after a break.
A new year means it's time for new work boots, work shoes, safety shoes, casual shoes, fishing shoes, hiking boots, and cowboy boots. Gelco Outdoors has the largest selection and the best brands, ready to make your feet feel happy in the new year. Crappie fishermen, Gelco is stocking up for the spring season. Come check out the gear. 50% off clothing on the clearance rack, loaded with New Year savings. Gelco Outdoors, your store for work and the great outdoors. 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Hi, this is Ricky Smith, head basketball coach for the Northside Lady Bears. I dial 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
This is Northside head basketball coach Eric Burnett. I call 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
Take advantage of York Factory rebates on high-efficiency HVAC products.
782-8940.
Nobody will pay you more for your trade than Harry Robinson. Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw. If you want to sell your vehicle or trade in and trade up, now's the time. Harry will pay you more.
Yes, definitely. Hey, this commercial isn't so much of a sales commercial, but this is a buying commercial. We want to buy your vehicle. If you're driving a 2015 or newer with less than 120,000 miles, we will give you top dollar for it. Harry Robinson is home of the more for your trade. We want to hold to that. We want to give you more money for your vehicle than any other dealer out there. So come down here and see us. If we've got something you're looking for, awesome. We can earn your business, but all in all, let us give you more money for the vehicle you're trading in.
Hey, clean local trades make the best inventory for the next buyer rather than going to auction and getting something else.
Yes, definitely. It doesn't matter if you're buying from us or down the road or out of state. Come and see us first and let us give you more money for your trade.
Nobody will pay you more for your trade than Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw.
With over 8,000 square feet of all the latest trends in lighting and plumbing fixtures, Great House Fixtures has all the brands you know and love, such as Visual Comfort Lighting and Delta Faucets. Their experienced staff can help you design and select the perfect fixtures for your uniquely you home, including sinks, tubs, faucets, custom showers, indoor and outdoor lighting, chandeliers, mirrors, hardware, and more. Make your house a great house. Learn more at greathousefixtures.com, located on 0th Street in Fort Smith. Great House Fixtures by J&B Supply.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company has 2 locations, 1316 South 0 and 200 South 0 Street in Fort Smith, serving the glass and glazing needs of Fort Smith, Northwest Arkansas, and Eastern Oklahoma, commercial and residential. Tub and shower enclosures, mirrors, glass table, and countertops cut to custom size are just a few services offered by Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company. Arkansas Glass and Mirror stocks laminate glass, plexiglass, Lexan, window glass, and mirror and plate glass. For more information, call 646-4300. That's 646-4300.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Hey!
We got some NFL playoffs this weekend, so looking forward to discussing some NFL playoffs. And Phil, you know what? That shirt does look good on you, man. Your pops did good, man. That's a cool looking shirt. Yeah.
For those who can't see it, and Clay, I know you can't see it. Or if you pop up on our YouTube stream or our Facebook stream, you can see you got my birthday on Saturday. My father knew these are like themes. He buys the same thing for me, the same thing for my brother-in-law, and then he gets one for himself.
That's cool.
Would you call this an ugly Hawaiian style
I call
shirt?
that we're going, it's 5 o'clock somewhere shirt.
I'd say, Phil, the good news about that shirt is that if you do drink too many martinis and throw up on yourself, nobody will notice.
It's the 2.5 man shirt, right? Yeah. It might actually improve the shirt. Yeah.
There's some tiger blood belongs in this shirt then, doesn't it? It's got a martini shaker. It's got an old fashioned. It's got a martini on it. A couple of other drinks on the back that I'm not quite sure what they are, because I put the shirt on properly, not backwards. Dad knows what to get his son for a birthday. Notice he didn't get me a drink. He just got me shirts in which to have a drink while wearing, which I guess is just good enough.
You got to dress for the occasion.
That's right. Saturday's the occasion.
Dress for the job you want, not the job you have.
Very excited about it. All right, we did get good news about Peyton Hillis earlier today. He is off the ventilator.
It's great news.
Best possible news that we could get. And hopefully the good news continues to filter in about him. I did see where, did you see Charles White passed away? Former Heisman Trophy winner at Southern California.
I saw that, and my gut just dropped because I thought it was Charlie Ward when I was reading that at first, and I said, "Oh my goodness, Phil, what just happened?" Because Charlie Ward is one of my idols growing up, in the way he played the game. Yeah,
Charles White, age 64.
12 games, had over 2,000 rushing yards. I mean,
As
wow.
a senior,
oh, my goodness.
Back
white
in the days
socks,
when
black shoes, that's so Cali right there. I mean, that's just when you have the white socks and black shoes, you know you're from Cali.
And that was in a string of I think it was 11 years in a row that a running back won the Heisman Trophy. I mean, some of the all-time greats, Tony Dorsett, who was Dorset then, and Earl Campbell. Absolutely. George Rogers. Yeah, so it's sad to see that. 19 of the last 23 Heisman winners quarterbacks. Derrick Henry, kind of a rare winner at running back. It just doesn't happen.
I thought Derrick Henry deserved it. You'd like to see it a little different because you have the O'Brien Award for the best quarterback, and I get it. We all get it, but necessarily it's not. I mean, it shouldn't be a quarterback award. It's a shame that that's all it is.
Clay, it's always good talking with you, man. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll visit with you next Tuesday here on Halftime.
I'm going duck hunting. I'll bring y'all some ducks.
Ooh, good luck, Clay.
Outstanding.
Yeah,
I'll take the bill and the meat. Thank you very much. And for Matt Jones and for Matt Travis, this is Phil. Have a great rest of your Thursday. Get up, get out, and get better.